Take control of how you feel in the heat of a trade, and your results will follow. When your pulse jumps, your hands tighten on the mouse, or the screen feels like it is shouting at you, you can choose to respond with calm and clear action instead of panic. This audiobook is a practical guide that shows you how to do that step by step with simple daily habits and real exercises you can start using today. You will learn how to slow your breath to steady your thoughts, how to build a routine that keeps your focus sharp, and how to use clear rules so emotion does not decide when you enter or exit a position. You will also see ways to limit losses without living in fear. Set reasonable profit goals so greed does not take over, and keep your trading life separate from your home life so stress does not follow you everywhere. Each idea is explained in plain language with concrete actions so you know exactly what to try during your next session. Expect honest strategies, not pep talk. These are methods that improve mental control through daily practice, journaling, and a few small changes that add up fast. You will hear real techniques for staying steady during sudden moves and quick steps to reset when a loss shakes you. By the end, you will have a toolbox of habits to use the moment markets test your calm. If you want less drama at your desk, clearer choices, and steady progress, this audiobook will give you the tools and the plan to get there. Stay with the whole program, and you will leave each chapter with a short exercise to practice, so change becomes real and lasting. Chapter 1. Master your breathing to calm the trading mind. Breathing is the most basic and natural function of life, yet in the world of trading it becomes one of the most powerful tools for controlling the mind and managing emotions. The financial markets are unpredictable, full of constant movement, rapid changes, and unexpected outcomes. In such an environment, emotions easily rise to the surface. Fear, excitement, greed, doubt, and anxiety can overwhelm even experienced traders. Without control, these emotions lead to impulsive actions, poor judgment, and unnecessary mistakes. The first step to mastering emotions in trading is to gain control of the breath, because the breath is the direct link between the body and the mind. When the breath is stable, the mind becomes stable. When the breath is chaotic, the mind mirrors that chaos. This chapter is about understanding and practicing the art of controlled breathing, so you can calm the trading mind and make decisions with clarity. Many traders spend hours studying charts, analyzing data, and designing strategies, but few take time to train their inner state. They believe the market is external, but in truth the greatest battle happens within. Every trade you place reflects not only your analysis but also your emotional state. Breathing provides a practical and accessible way to regulate that state. The beauty of this tool is that it is available at any moment. You do not need expensive equipment. You do not need complicated systems. You do not need anyone else. You only need awareness and practice. By controlling your breath, you create a space between stimulus and response. In that space lies calmness, clarity, and power. In trading, this space can mean the difference between holding back from a reckless trade and waiting for the right opportunity. The science of breathing is well documented. When the breath is shallow and fast, the body activates its stress response. The heart rate increases, blood pressure rises, and the mind becomes alert but anxious. This state is useful in survival situations, but in trading it clouds judgment. When the breath is slow, deep, and controlled, the body activates its relaxation response. The heart rate slows down, the nervous system balances, and the mind becomes steady. By learning to consciously regulate your breath, you can shift yourself from stress to calm at will. Imagine facing a sudden market drop. If your breath remains shallow, panic sets in, and you might exit too early or overreact. If your breath is steady, you can evaluate the situation rationally, stick to your plan, and act with discipline. Breathing does not change the market, but it changes you, and that changes how you interact with the market. Practical application begins with awareness. Most people are not conscious of their breathing throughout the day. It happens automatically, and because it is automatic, it often becomes shallow or irregular during stressful moments without them noticing. The first step is to simply observe how you breathe, especially when you trade. Notice whether your shoulders rise and fall quickly, whether you breathe only into your chest, whether your breath stops for moments when you are anxious. This awareness itself creates a shift. Once you recognize how your breath changes under stress, you can start to intervene. Awareness transforms the unconscious into the conscious, giving you the ability to take control. The next step is practice. Controlled breathing is like any other skill. The more you train, the stronger the habit becomes. Begin with a simple technique. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Hold gently for 1 or 2 counts, then exhale through your mouth for 6 counts. The longer exhale activates relaxation and calms the nervous system. Practice this cycle for a few minutes each morning before you begin trading. Over time, extend the practice to 5 or 10 minutes. As the habit builds, you will notice that even during intense trading sessions, your breath remains steadier without conscious effort. You are training your mind and body to stay composed under pressure. Another powerful practice is box breathing, often used by athletes and professionals in high-stress fields. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, exhale for 4 counts, hold for 4 counts, and repeat. This method balances the nervous system and creates rhythm in the mind. Try this before you open your trading platform or during moments when you feel overwhelmed by rapid price movements. You will notice that the structured rhythm of the breath brings a structured rhythm to your thoughts. Impulsive urges begin to tow, and a sense of control returns. Breathing is not about forcing calmness, but about creating conditions where calmness arises naturally. Consistency is key. One day of deep breathing will not transform your emotional control, just as one workout will not build lasting strength. The true power lies in daily repetition. Make it part of your routine in the same way you review charts or set stop-loss orders. If you trade in the morning, begin with 5 minutes of breathing before analyzing the market. If you trade in the evening, use breathing as a transition from daily stress into trading focus. Over weeks and months, this practice rewires your nervous system to respond to stress differently. You no longer collapse into panic or jump with excitement at every price movement. Instead, you develop steady composure. A calm trading mind is not the absence of emotion, but the ability to notice emotions without being controlled by them. Breathing creates space to witness fear, greed, or doubt without immediate reaction. You may still feel a rush of excitement when a trade moves in your favor or tension when the market turns against you, but with steady breath you can pause, evaluate and decide based on logic rather than impulse. This is the foundation of emotional mastery. You are not eliminating emotion, you are regulating it, transforming it into useful information instead of destructive energy. This balance between feeling and control is what separates disciplined traders from those who lose themselves to every swing of the market. Consider a real-world example. A trader sits at his desk and sees the market dropping faster than expected. His heart races, his palms sweat, and his mind floods with fear of losing money. If he has not trained his breathing, he may exit prematurely or even reverse into a bad trade. If he has trained his breathing, he notices the rapid breath, takes a slow inhale, lengthens the exhale, and steadies his mind. With this pause, he remembers his trading plan, checks his risk management, and realizes the situation is within his limits. Instead of reacting emotionally, he responds rationally. Over time, this consistent control leads to steady growth and fewer unnecessary mistakes. The market remains the same, but the trader has changed. Breathing also improves overall well-being beyond trading. Stress from constant market monitoring does not end when the trading session closes. It often lingers in the body, affecting sleep, mood, and relationships. Daily breathing practice reduces this accumulated stress. Traders who train their breath often report better sleep, clearer focus, and more stable energy throughout the day. This stability carries into other areas of life, making them not only better traders, but also calmer individuals. Personal growth and trading discipline reinforce each other, creating a cycle of improvement. By mastering your breath, you are building resilience that serves you both inside and outside the market. Another layer of practice is mindful breathing during trading itself. It is easy to think of breathing exercises as something separate from trading, done only before or after. But the real transformation happens when you integrate breath awareness into the trading process. Every time you open a chart, take one slow breath before analyzing. Every time you consider entering a trade, breathe deeply before clicking. Every time you face a loss, pause with a long exhale before reacting. These small moments add up, creating a rhythm of calm decision-making throughout the session. With practice, this becomes second nature, and you find yourself naturally calmer during market volatility. There will be times when even practiced traders feel overwhelmed. During sudden market crashes or unexpected news, emotions can surge powerfully. In these moments, the breath becomes an anchor. By returning to slow and steady breathing, you remind yourself that you are in control of yourself, even if you cannot control the market. This awareness is deeply empowering. The Stoics taught that we cannot control external events, only our response to them. Breathing is the most immediate and practical way to exercise this wisdom. Each calm breath is an act of self-mastery, a reminder that your inner state is always within your reach, regardless of external chaos. To deepen your practice, combine breathing with reflection. After each trading session, take 5 minutes to breathe deeply and review how you handled emotions. Did your breath remain steady during a loss? Did you notice shallow breathing during excitement? Did you pause to breathe before making decisions? This reflection builds awareness and accountability. Over time, you will notice progress. The situations that once triggered anxiety will now meet a calmer, more composed version of yourself. These improvements may feel small at first, but they accumulate into powerful transformation. It is also important to approach breathing with patience. Many traders seek quick fixes, but true mastery takes time. At first, you may struggle to remember to breathe consciously during stressful moments. You may notice your breath only after emotions already rise. Do not be discouraged. This is part of the process. Each time you catch yourself and return to the breath, you strengthen the habit. The progress is not in never losing control, but in regaining it faster each time. Over months, the practice becomes natural. Your trading mind begins to reflect the steadiness of your breath. Calmness becomes not an occasional effort, but a constant state. The impact of mastering your breath reaches beyond trading results. It reshapes your identity. You no longer see yourself as someone at the mercy of markets, tossed around by fear and greed. You see yourself as someone who acts with discipline, calmness, and clarity. This identity builds confidence, and confidence feeds back into better decisions. When you know you can handle emotional pressure, you approach trading with strength instead of fear. Losses no longer destroy your peace, and wins no longer push you into reckless overconfidence. You trade with balance, guided not by impulse but by intention. This is the mark of a mature trader. Breathing is also a reminder of simplicity. In a world full of complex indicators, algorithms, and market analysis, it is easy to forget that the most powerful tools are often the simplest. By mastering something as basic as your breath, you gain an edge that many overlook. Technology and strategy can help, but they cannot replace inner stability. Breathing gives you that stability. It is free, always available, and infinitely powerful. Every calm breath is an act of discipline, and discipline is the foundation of success in trading and in life. In conclusion, mastering your breathing to calm the trading mind is not a small technique, but a fundamental practice of self-mastery. It trains you to regulate your emotions, sharpen your focus, and act with discipline. It gives you control where it matters most, over yourself. The market will always be uncertain, but your breath can always be steady. By practicing awareness, consistency, and integration of breathing into your trading routine, you build a foundation of calmness that transforms your decisions and your results. The journey begins with a single breath, repeated daily until it becomes your natural state. From that steady breath comes clarity, resilience, and lasting success. Chapter 2. Build a daily routine that stabilizes emotional focus. Discipline begins the moment you decide that your day will not control you, but that you will control your day, and for a trader this decision shapes every outcome in the market. The way you wake up, the habits you follow, and the structure you maintain create the emotional foundation that determines whether you trade with focus or with distraction. Many traders focus only on strategies and charts, but the truth is that emotional stability comes from routine, not from chance. When you design a daily rhythm that supports your mind and body, you protect yourself from the roller coaster of emotions that trading often creates. Without such structure, fear, greed, impatience, and frustration can take over quickly. With structure, you create consistency not only in your actions, but also in your emotions, and that consistency is what allows you to perform with clarity day after day. The importance of routine begins the moment you wake up. If your day starts with randomness, you carry that same lack of order into your trading. Checking your phone first thing, rushing through breakfast, and opening the trading platform without preparation leaves your mind unsteady. Instead, a deliberate morning routine sets the tone for focus. Begin with simple actions that center your attention. Drink water, move your body, and spend a few minutes in stillness before engaging with screens. This is not wasted time. It is the foundation of stability. When your mind is calm before you even start, you approach the market with control rather than with scattered energy. Many traders fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they begin the day unfocused and unprepared. Routine is the antidote to that failure. Another key element of stabilizing emotional focus is preparation. A trader who enters the day without a plan is vulnerable to every impulse. Reviewing market conditions, setting clear goals, and defining risk limits should be part of your daily routine before a single trade is placed. This preparation reduces uncertainty, and uncertainty is one of the strongest triggers of fear and hesitation. By preparing consistently, you lower the emotional weight of each decision. Instead of reacting to every move, you execute within boundaries you already created. This reduces stress and builds confidence, because you are not guessing, you are following structure. Routine preparation sharpens the mind like sharpening a tool, and a sharp mind is less likely to be clouded by emotions. Equally important is how you manage your energy throughout the day. Trading is not only a mental activity, it is physical. Sitting for long hours, staring at screens, and carrying tension in the body all weaken focus. A strong routine includes breaks, movement, and healthy nourishment. Stepping away from the desk for a few minutes to stretch or walk is not a distraction, it is a necessity. It prevents fatigue from building and gives your emotions space to reset. Skipping meals or relying on unhealthy snacks leads to energy crashes that amplify frustration and impatience. A stable routine includes healthy food choices that fuel the brain for sustained focus. Emotional stability is not separate from physical stability. The two are connected, and your routine must honor both. One of the most overlooked parts of a trader's daily structure is how the day ends. Many traders finish their session and carry unresolved emotions into their evening. Losses turn into anger that affects family time, and wins turn into overexcitement that disrupts sleep. A daily routine should include a closing ritual, reviewing your trades, reflecting on what went well and what did not, and writing down key insights allow you to leave the trading desk with clarity. This practice creates closure. Without it, emotions remain unfinished, and they grow stronger over time. By ending the day with reflection, you stabilize not only today's emotions, but also prepare tomorrow's mind. It is a reset that prevents emotional buildup. Another dimension of routine is consistency in timing. If you trade at random hours each day, your emotions will mirror that randomness. The mind finds calmness in predictability. Decide when you will trade, and stick to it as much as possible. This consistency helps your body and mind adjust, knowing when to focus and when to rest. When you trade without set times, you blur the boundaries between work and life, creating stress and fatigue. When you trade within a routine schedule, you create balance. Balance is essential because trading without rest leads to burnout, and burnout weakens emotional control. Stability requires rhythm, and rhythm requires consistency. Your daily routine should also include practices that strengthen mental clarity outside of trading. Reading, journaling, meditation, or physical exercise all contribute to emotional balance. These are not separate from trading success. They are the foundation of it. A trader who exercises regularly carries more resilience into stressful sessions. A trader who journals emotions daily gains deeper self-awareness and catches destructive patterns earlier. A trader who meditates or practices mindfulness builds the ability to observe impulses without acting on them. These habits may seem small, but together they form a powerful shield against emotional instability. The market will always test your patience and discipline. Without habits that strengthen your inner state, you will be unprepared for those tests. Another part of building a stabilizing routine is limiting exposure to unnecessary noise. Constantly checking news feeds, scrolling through social media, or listening to conflicting opinions creates confusion and emotional turbulence. A disciplined routine sets clear boundaries for information intake. Decide when and how you will gather information and avoid the endless cycle of distraction. Too much noise clouds focus and fuels emotional swings. Too little structure in how you consume information leaves you vulnerable to external influence. A stable routine filters what enters your mind, ensuring that your focus remains on your process, not on outside noise. The greatest challenge with routine is not creating it, but keeping it. Many traders start with strong intentions, but quickly return to old habits when emotions rise. The key to maintaining routine is discipline, and discipline grows with repetition. Start small and build gradually. If you try to change everything at once, you will likely fail. Begin by committing to one part of your day, such as a consistent morning practice or an evening review. Once this becomes natural, add another layer. Over time, the structure grows stronger, and your emotions begin to align with it. Routine becomes not a forced effort, but a natural way of living. Emotional stability is not about eliminating all feelings. It is about creating a rhythm where emotions do not control your decisions. Routine gives you that rhythm. It removes uncertainty from your daily life and replaces it with order. In that order, your mind finds calm. You no longer approach trading as a battle of impulses, but as a disciplined process. Every day, you follow your routine. You strengthen the identity of a trader who acts with stability, not with chaos. This identity gives confidence, and confidence protects you from the emotional traps that destroy so many traders. When you think of successful traders, you may imagine advanced strategies or sophisticated technology, but beneath all of that lies routine. They wake up with purpose, prepare with structure, manage their energy, and close their day with reflection. They do not leave their emotions to chance. They build habits that protect them. You can do the same. The routine you build is the foundation for every trade you place. Without it, you stand on unstable ground. With it, you stand firm, no matter how the market moves. That firmness does not come from luck, but from daily discipline. By building a daily routine that stabilizes emotional focus, you are choosing mastery over randomness. You are shaping a life where emotions serve you instead of control you. Each habit you build strengthens resilience. Each boundary you set creates clarity. Each repeated action trains your mind to remain steady under pressure. Routine is not about limitation, it is about freedom. The freedom to act with discipline instead of impulse. The freedom to trade with clarity instead of confusion. And the freedom to live with balance instead of chaos. Success in trading begins not in the market, but in the structure of your day, and the power to design that structure is always in your hands. Chapter 3. Strengthen discipline by following a clear trading plan. Success in trading does not come from chance or guesswork, but from the ability to follow a clear plan with unwavering discipline, because without discipline, even the best strategies lose their power. Every trader enters the market with the hope of making consistent profits, but few understand that consistency is built not by reacting to every price movement, but by sticking to a structured approach. A clear trading plan provides the framework for every decision, protecting you from impulsive actions and emotional swings. When you strengthen your discipline by following such a plan, you transform trading from chaos into order and from random effort into focused execution. A trading plan is more than a set of rules written on paper. It is the backbone of your trading identity. It defines when you will enter, how you will exit, how much risk you will take, and what conditions must be met before you act. Without it, you are at the mercy of emotions that rise with every candle on the chart. Fear may force you to close early, greed may push you to hold too long, and impatience may lead you to enter trades that do not fit your strategy. With a plan, you have a roadmap, and that roadmap reduces hesitation. Discipline grows stronger when decisions are made in advance, because you no longer need to wrestle with emotions in the heat of the moment. You simply follow what you already prepared. To strengthen discipline through a plan, the first step is clarity. Your rules must be specific, not vague. Saying you will trade when the market looks good is not a plan. Saying you will enter when price breaks a defined level with a confirmed signal is clarity. Clarity removes doubt, and doubt is one of the biggest enemies of discipline. When your plan is detailed, you know exactly what qualifies as an opportunity and what does not. This prevents the mind from bending rules in moments of excitement or fear. Many traders lose discipline, not because they lack willpower, but because their plan is unclear, giving emotions room to take over. Another essential part of following a plan is commitment to risk management. A plan is incomplete without defining how much you are willing to lose on each trade and how you will protect your capital. Discipline becomes easier when risk is predefined, because you no longer face the fear of unknown loss. Traders who avoid clear risk rules often close trades too quickly when fear arises, or hold on to losing trades, hoping they will turn around. Both patterns destroy discipline. By following a clear risk rule such as limiting each trade to a small percentage of your account, you protect yourself from catastrophic loss and free your mind to act with calmness. Discipline thrives when the fear of ruin is removed. Emotional control also comes from repetition of the same plan. Many traders jump from one strategy to another after a few losses, believing the next method will solve their problems. This lack of consistency prevents them from ever developing discipline. A plan must be tested and trusted over time. Losses will happen, but discipline means you do not abandon your structure at the first sign of difficulty. Instead, you review, adjust carefully if needed, and continue with patience. Every time you follow your plan despite discomfort, you strengthen your self-control. Over time, this discipline becomes automatic. You no longer question whether to stick with your rules, you simply do, because it has become who you are. The temptation to ignore the plan is strongest during extremes, big wins and big losses. After a win, the mind feels invincible and wants to take more trades outside of rules. After a loss, the mind wants revenge and pushes for impulsive entries. In both cases, discipline is tested. The plan exists to protect you from these extremes. By committing to follow it no matter how you feel, you create stability. This commitment must be firm. You cannot follow the plan only when it feels comfortable. You must follow it especially when it feels difficult. True discipline is proven not in easy moments, but in challenging ones. The market rewards those who can remain steady when others lose control. Building discipline through a plan also requires accountability. It is easy to justify breaking rules when no one else knows. This is why journaling is powerful. Recording every trade, noting whether you followed the plan, and reviewing patterns creates accountability to yourself. You cannot hide from the truth on the page. Each time you review your journal, you see clearly where you acted with discipline and where you did not. This awareness pushes you to improve. Some traders even share their plans with a mentor or peer group to strengthen accountability further. When others know your rules, breaking them feels heavier. Accountability transforms discipline from a vague intention into a daily practice. A trading plan also frees mental energy. Without it, every decision requires constant evaluation, and this drains focus. With it, decisions are streamlined. You see a setup, compare it to your rules, and act or step aside. This efficiency reduces stress and preserves willpower. Willpower is like a muscle. It tires with overuse. A clear plan reduces unnecessary strain, leaving you with more energy to maintain discipline over long sessions. Traders who try to rely only on self-control without structure eventually burn out. Those with a plan conserve their mental energy and sustain discipline longer. Over time, following a plan does more than create consistency in trading. It reshapes character. Discipline in trading spills into other areas of life. You become more patient in daily decisions, more structured in routines, and more resilient under pressure. This personal growth reinforces trading discipline further, creating a cycle of improvement. The market becomes not just a place to earn profits, but a training ground for self-mastery. Every time you follow your plan, you are not just protecting your account, you are building the habit of discipline that strengthens all areas of your life. It is important to remember that no plan guarantees constant success. Losses will happen even when you follow rules perfectly. Discipline means you accept this reality without frustration. The purpose of a plan is not to avoid all losses, but to create consistency that leads to long-term growth. Traders who abandon their plan after a loss fall into emotional traps. Those who accept losses as part of the process preserve stability. This acceptance is a mark of maturity. You no longer see each trade as a test of your worth. but as one execution within a larger journey. Discipline keeps you aligned with the bigger picture instead of trapped in short-term emotions. Following a trading plan also reduces the noise of external opinions. Markets are full of voices, from news commentators to online forums, each offering conflicting advice. Without a plan, you are easily swayed by this noise. With a plan, you filter everything through your rules. If the information aligns, you may consider it. If not, you ignore it. This selective focus strengthens discipline because you are no longer pulled in every direction. Your path is clear, and you stay on it regardless of outside distractions. The ability to stay centered in a noisy environment is one of the strongest signs of emotional control. Strengthening discipline by following a clear trading plan requires effort, but the reward is freedom. Freedom from impulsive decisions, freedom from emotional roller coasters, and freedom from the chaos of inconsistency. Each day you follow your plan, you reinforce the identity of a disciplined trader. That identity becomes stronger than momentary urges. You act not out of emotion, but out of principle. The market will always be uncertain, but your behavior does not have to be. You cannot control price movements, but you can control yourself, and your plan is the tool that makes that possible. When you commit fully to following a clear trading plan, you choose long-term growth over short-term impulses. You choose structure over chaos, clarity over confusion, and discipline over emotion. This choice does not just improve your trading results, it transforms you into a stronger, calmer, and more resilient person. Discipline is not a single act, but a daily commitment. Every trade is an opportunity to practice it, and every moment of practice strengthens your ability to succeed. With a plan in hand and the discipline to follow it, you build not only consistent profits, but also unshakable confidence. The market will test you, but your plan will keep you steady, and your discipline will carry you through every challenge with strength and clarity. Chapter 4. Train patience to wait for the right opportunity. Patience is the silent strength that separates the impulsive trader from the disciplined one, and it is the quality that often makes the difference between constant struggle and consistent progress. In trading, opportunities appear and disappear within seconds, but not every movement is worth your attention, and not every setup deserves your capital. The ability to train yourself to wait, truly wait, for the right moment is what allows you to protect your account, sharpen your decision-making, and maintain emotional stability when others are rushing into bad trades. Most people fail in trading not because they lack intelligence, but because they cannot resist the urge to act. They believe doing something is always better than doing nothing, yet in reality, the greatest strength often lies in restraint. When you sit in front of the screen and watch prices moving, it is natural to feel a pull toward action. You might convince yourself that a setup is good enough, or that you will refine your decision after entering the trade. That small impatience is what drains accounts over time. True growth begins when you learn that no trade is better than a bad trade, and when you train your mind to accept that missing out is far less damaging than forcing a move. Waiting requires courage. It requires you to confront silence, inactivity, and uncertainty without rushing to escape them. If you can accept that the market will give you chances again and again, you free yourself from the desperation that drives poor decisions. Developing patience in trading begins long before you click a button. It starts with building the mindset that you are not here for excitement, but for results. The market is not entertainment, and your trading account is not a playground. Each action must be taken with purpose. To strengthen this mindset, create rules that guide your entry conditions with absolute clarity. Write them down, make them specific. When you face the urge to act prematurely, remind yourself that your job is not to predict, but to follow your plan. By having these rules, you reduce the temptation to bend your standards out of fear or greed. Another powerful method to train patience is to redefine what you consider a successful trading day. Many traders measure success by whether they entered a position or booked a profit. This narrow definition pushes them into unnecessary trades. Instead, expand your idea of success. A day when you avoided low-quality setups is a victory. A day when you followed your plan and waited for your criteria to align is a win, even if no trades were taken. By shifting your perspective, you remove the pressure to constantly act and replace it with the satisfaction of discipline. Patience can also be trained through the habit of observation. Dedicate time to simply watching the market without taking trades. Observe how price moves during different times of day, how volume changes, how patterns form and dissolve. The more you watch without acting, the more comfortable you become with stillness. This practice strengthens your ability to recognize the difference between genuine opportunities and random noise. It is like developing an inner radar that tells you when conditions are aligned and when they are not. Emotional control is inseparable from patience. When impatience arises, it is often because fear is whispering that you will miss out or greed is convincing you that you must seize every move. To counter this, focus on your breathing, your posture, and your mental state. If you feel your heart racing or your thoughts rushing, step away for a moment. A short break to reset your mind is far more valuable than forcing a trade you will later regret. Trading is not about being glued to the screen. It is about making the best decision when the time is right. It is also useful to train patience outside of trading. Your daily life offers countless opportunities to strengthen this quality. Whether you are waiting in line, sitting in traffic, or having a conversation, practice slowing yourself down. Resist the urge to fill silence. Resist the urge to rush ahead. The more you cultivate patience in your daily habits, the easier it becomes to bring that same energy to your trading desk. Patience is a muscle, and it grows stronger through consistent practice across all areas of your life. A disciplined trader accepts that markets are unpredictable and that no amount of impatience will bend them to personal desires. The right opportunity comes when it comes, not when you want it to. You cannot accelerate a setup, and you cannot demand profit on your schedule. By training yourself to wait, you align with reality rather than fight against it. This acceptance is what allows you to stay calm during long stretches of inactivity and ready to act decisively when the true signal arrives. Think about the difference between a trader who jumps into every small move and one who waits for high-quality setups. The impatient trader may feel busy, but they are often exhausted, frustrated, and losing money from overtrading. The patient trader may take fewer trades, but their entries are deliberate, their exits are planned, and their emotions remain steady. Over weeks and months, the difference in results becomes undeniable. Patience preserves capital, reduces stress, and builds confidence, while impatience erodes all three. To make patience second nature, build rituals into your trading routine. Before each session, remind yourself of your rules. Visualize yourself waiting calmly for your setup. Set an intention that you will only act when conditions align. If you find yourself tempted to jump in early, have a strategy to redirect your energy, such as reviewing your journal, studying a past chart, or stepping away for a short walk. These small habits create a buffer between impulse and action, giving you space to regain clarity before making decisions. Over time, patience becomes less about resisting temptation and more about trusting the process. You no longer feel anxious about waiting because you have seen how discipline protects you and how quality setups reward you. Each time you choose to wait rather than chase, you strengthen your belief that patience is profitable. The market will always test your resolve, but with practice, those tests become opportunities to reinforce your growth. True mastery in trading is not about speed, but about timing. The right opportunity does not come every minute, but when it does, it is clear, precise, and worth the wait. By training yourself to cultivate patience, you gain the rare ability to sit calmly in uncertainty, to resist the noise that drives others into mistakes, and to act only when the odds are in your favor. This strength builds not only your trading success, but also your character. The same patience that protects your account will improve your relationships, sharpen your decision-making in daily life, and give you a sense of peace even in chaotic environments. In the end, the market rewards those who respect time. It rewards those who are willing to prepare, observe, and wait with discipline. Every moment you hold back from chasing a low-quality setup is a moment you are protecting your future. Every time you resist impatience, you are proving to yourself that you value long-term growth over short-term thrill. And that is the mark of a true professional. Chapter 5. Develop self-awareness through reviewing your trading decisions. The fastest way to transform your trading results is to transform how you see yourself, and that transformation begins with the courage to review every decision you make in the market. Many traders chase new strategies, indicators, or news events, but very few stop to look inward and study their own behavior. Yet, self-awareness is the foundation of consistent performance, because your success is not determined by the market, but by how you respond to it. If you are blind to your own patterns, you will repeat the same mistakes again and again, no matter how advanced your tools appear to be. But if you are willing to face your decisions honestly, every trade, win or lose, becomes a lesson that sharpens your edge. Reviewing your trading decisions is not about criticizing yourself or replaying losses with regret. It is about examining your actions with honesty and curiosity. Ask yourself why you entered when you did, what signals you were following, how you felt during the trade, and what led to your exit. This type of reflection brings hidden patterns into the light. You begin to notice if you tend to chase after price moves, if you exit too early out of fear, or if you hold too long because of greed. By naming these tendencies, you gain the power to change them. Without review, these habits stay invisible, silently shaping your results. With review, they become clear, and clarity leads to progress. A practical step in building self-awareness is creating a daily record of your trades. Writing them down forces you to face facts without distortion. Numbers do not lie, but behind every number is a decision you made in real time. Alongside the entry price and exit price, include the reasons for the trade and how you felt before, during, and after. Over time, you will see recurring themes. Perhaps you discover that you trade better in the morning than in the afternoon. Perhaps you realize that losses often happen when you ignore your rules. These insights are not punishments, they are the exact feedback you need to grow stronger. Self-awareness also requires the humility to accept responsibility. Many traders blame the market, news, or other people for their setbacks. This mindset prevents growth, because it places control outside yourself. When you review your trades, shift the focus inward. Instead of saying the market tricked me, ask, what decision did I make that allowed this outcome? By framing it this way, you reinforce the truth that you are in charge of your action. The market will always be unpredictable, but your discipline, preparation, and execution are within your control. This shift from blame to responsibility builds mental strength and confidence over time. It is important to review not only the trades that failed, but also the trades that succeeded. Many traders focus only on mistakes, forgetting that wins carry lessons too. Sometimes a profitable trade was actually a poor decision that happened to work out. Other times a winning trade followed your plan perfectly, confirming that your process is solid. By reviewing victories with the same discipline as losses, you prevent overconfidence and ensure that your progress is rooted in reality, not luck. Another way to develop deeper awareness is to examine your emotional state beyond the trade itself. Were you tired when you entered? Were you trading to recover from a previous loss? Were you influenced by fear of missing out after seeing others post their results? These emotional factors often drive decisions more than charts or data. By reviewing not just what you did, but how you felt, you expose the emotional triggers that shape your behavior. Awareness of these triggers allows you to prepare for them. For example, if you know you become impulsive after a losing trade, you can create a rule to pause before re-entering. That small awareness can save you from costly mistakes. Building self-awareness is not about perfection, it is about progress. Each review session is an opportunity to learn a little more about yourself. With time, you will notice that you start recognizing your patterns in the moment. Not just in hindsight, you will catch yourself hesitating for the wrong reasons, or rushing into a setup without enough confirmation. This is the beginning of mastery. When reflection in review turns into awareness in real time. The more you practice this, the more your decisions become deliberate instead of reactive. The discipline of reviewing trades can also serve as a mirror for life outside the market. The way you handle risk, the way you respond to pressure, and the way you manage emotions are not just trading behaviors, they are reflections of your character. When you improve your awareness as a trader, you improve your awareness as a person. You become more mindful of your habits, more intentional in your choices, and more resilient under stress. This is why the practice of self-reflection is so powerful. It does not only create better trades, it creates a stronger version of you. Self-awareness grows deeper when paired with honesty. Do not hide from uncomfortable truths. If your review shows that you are breaking your plan, face it. If you see that you are risking too much, admit it. Denial is the enemy of growth, but acceptance opens the door to change. Remind yourself that every professional trader once struggled with the same issues. What separates them from those who quit is not that they avoided mistakes, but that they were willing to learn from them. Your reviews are your training ground. They are the place where weaknesses become strengths, if you choose to confront them. To stay consistent with this practice, schedule regular review sessions. At the end of each trading day, spend a few minutes writing down your trades. At the end of the week, look back over all of them together. Patterns that were invisible in a single day often become obvious over a longer period. At the end of the month, reflect on your overall progress. This structured approach ensures that review becomes a habit, not an afterthought. Over time, you will not only improve as a trader, but also develop patience, humility, and focus, qualities that spill over into every part of life. The journey of self-awareness is not easy. It takes humility to admit mistakes, courage to face emotions, and discipline to review consistently. But the reward is immense. You begin to see yourself clearly, not as you wish to be, but as you truly are. From that clarity, you can shape yourself into the trader you want to become. Each review is a small step, but together they build the foundation of mastery. The market will test you, but with self-awareness, you will meet those tests with clarity instead of confusion. Success in trading is not built on secrets or shortcuts. It is built on the willingness to learn from every decision. When you make reviewing your trades a priority, you turn each experience into a teacher. Wins encourage you, losses strengthen you, and both refine you. Over time, the mistakes that once repeated themselves disappear, and the habits that once sabotaged you fade away. What remains is a trader who acts with awareness, confidence, and calm, And that is the kind of trader who not only survives in the markets, but thrives in them. Chapter 6. Control fear by limiting risk on every trade. Fear is the silent enemy that ruins countless traders, and the most effective way to defeat it is by limiting your risk before you ever enter a trade. Nothing shakes confidence faster than putting too much on the line, because when the stakes are too high, the mind becomes clouded with panic and every price movement feels like a threat. By controlling the size of your risk, you give yourself the ability to think clearly, to act with calm, and to stay in the game long enough to build lasting success. This is not just about money management, it is about emotional control, because when you know you cannot lose more than you can handle, you stop trading with fear and start trading with focus. The truth is that fear thrives in uncertainty. If you go into a trade without knowing exactly how much you can afford to lose, every tick against you feels like the beginning of disaster. But when you have predetermined your maximum loss, you remove that uncertainty. You know in advance where you will exit, and you accept it before you even press the button. That decision creates peace of mind, because it turns a potential catastrophe into a calculated possibility. The difference may seem small, but it changes everything. Instead of reacting emotionally to every move, you simply wait for your plan to play out. If it works, you profit. If it doesn't, you exit with discipline, and your capital is preserved for the next opportunity. Many traders think fear will disappear once they win enough trades or make enough money, but fear does not vanish through success. It vanishes through preparation. You must decide before you enter any trade how much you are willing to risk, and that number must always be small enough that losing it does not shake your confidence or destroy your account. Risking a small percentage of your capital per trade creates freedom. It allows you to approach the market with patience and rational thinking, because you know that even if this trade does not go your way, you will have many more chances ahead. This mindset turns trading into a long-term journey instead of a desperate attempt to win today. A practical step to put this into action is to set a maximum percentage of your account that you are willing to risk on any single trade. For some traders, it is 1%. For others, it may be 0.5%. The exact number matters less than the principle. Your risk should always be small enough that losing it does not trigger fear. Once you choose your percentage, calculate your position size accordingly and set your stop loss before entering. This small step eliminates guesswork and ensures that your emotions remain steady no matter how the trade unfolds. Fear also grows when you lack consistency in your approach. If you sometimes risk a little and other times risk too much, your emotions will swing wildly with the outcome. You cannot feel calm when your losses vary between manageable and devastating. The only way to remove this instability is to make your risk management automatic and consistent. When every trade follows the same rule, you stop second-guessing yourself, and your mind becomes free to focus on execution instead of survival. Consistency breeds calm, and calmness is what allows you to see the market clearly. Limiting risk does not mean you stop being ambitious. It means you are building a foundation that allows ambition to grow without destroying you. Think of it this way: if you protect your account by keeping your losses small, you give yourself endless opportunities to catch the big wins when they come. Fear pushes traders to chase or to overcommit, but those who manage risk patiently are the ones who are ready when the right moment arrives. Protecting yourself today ensures you can fight again tomorrow, and this is the mindset that separates those who last from those who quit too soon. Another hidden benefit of limiting risk is that it reduces the emotional attachment to any single trade. Fear often comes from placing too much importance on the outcome of one position. When you risk too much, that trade feels like it will decide your future, and the pressure is unbearable. But when your risk is controlled, each trade is just one of many. You stop obsessing over being right, and you start focusing on executing well. This detachment makes it easier to follow your plan, because your identity is no longer tied to the outcome of one trade. You can fail on a single attempt without feeling like a failure as a trader. It is also important to connect risk control with your larger vision of trading. Ask yourself what your real goal is. If your goal is to build wealth steadily over time, then protecting capital must come before chasing returns. Every great trader understands that survival is the first rule. You cannot win if you are no longer in the game. By limiting risk, you are not being overly cautious. You are practicing wisdom. You are ensuring that your account, your confidence, and your future remain intact, no matter what happens in the market today. Fear does not just harm your trades, it harms your life. When you carry the stress of reckless risk into your mind, it affects your sleep, your relationships, and your health. By limiting risk, you create balance not only in your account but also in your daily life. You trade with greater peace, you leave the market without the weight of panic, and you preserve the energy to live fully outside of trading. This balance is often overlooked, but it is the true reward of discipline. A trader who controls risk not only improves results, but also protects their well-being. Controlling fear by limiting risk is not a one-time decision, it is a habit you build every day. Each trade is an opportunity to practice discipline, to prove to yourself that you can act with clarity instead of emotion. Over time, this habit becomes your identity. You stop being the trader who panics, and you become the trader who stays calm no matter what happens. This shift does not just improve your performance, it transforms your relationship with the market. You see it not as a threat to your security, but as a place to practice your skills, test your discipline, and grow stronger. The journey of trading will always involve uncertainty, but fear does not need to control you. By limiting risk, you take away its power. You give yourself the ability to stay steady, to think clearly, and to act with courage. Every trade becomes a lesson, every loss becomes manageable, and every win becomes a step forward. Discipline in risk is the foundation of emotional control, and emotional control is the foundation of success. If you are willing to protect your capital on every trade, you will not only defeat fear, you will build the resilience, confidence, and clarity needed to thrive in the markets for a lifetime. Chapter 7. Manage greed by setting realistic profit targets daily. Greed is the silent trap that seduces traders into abandoning their plan, and the only way to defeat it is by setting clear and realistic profit targets each day. When you do not define how much is enough, you will always chase more, and that chase ends in poor decisions and unnecessary losses. A trader driven by greed forgets discipline, overstays in trades, gears exit signals, and often watches profits disappear because of the inability to stop. But when you begin the day with a defined profit goal that aligns with your strategy and risk tolerance, you protect yourself from this endless hunger and transform greed into controlled ambition. Greed feeds on the illusion that every winning trade can be stretched further. You enter with a plan, the trade goes in your favor, but instead of following your target, you hold on, hoping for more. This hope is not logic, it is emotion disguised as confidence. The market does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards clarity, discipline, and consistency. By setting daily targets, you give yourself a clear finish line that prevents you from falling into the spiral of always needing just one more move. This decision creates mental balance because you no longer measure your success by chasing endless profits, but by achieving realistic goals day after day. The key is to define your targets based on what the market can reasonably provide, not what your emotions desire. If your strategy historically produces a certain average return, set your goal within that range. When you set targets that match reality, you create confidence because you know you are working in harmony with the probabilities rather than against them. Unrealistic expectations, on the other hand, are fuel for greed. They push you to overtrade, to increase risk without reason, and to break your own rules. A realistic goal is not small thinking, it is smart thinking. It gives you a sustainable framework to grow steadily instead of gambling wildly. A practical way to manage greed is to decide before the trading day begins what profit level will satisfy you. Write it down, remind yourself of it, and commit to stopping once it is reached. This habit builds discipline because it forces you to treat trading like a profession rather than a casino. Professionals stop when their work is done. Amateurs keep going until their emotions take over. By closing the platform after meeting your goal, you reinforce the truth that consistency matters more than chasing extraordinary wins. Over time, this habit builds confidence and prevents you from giving back hard-earned gains. Another effective practice is to link your targets to your risk per trade. For example, if you risk 1 unit of capital, your daily goal could be 2 or 3 times that risk. This simple structure keeps your targets proportional and ensures that your ambition does not outrun your protection. When you think in terms of risk to reward, you begin to see profits as part of a larger process rather than isolated wins. This perspective keeps greed under control because you know your targets are grounded in logic rather than emotion. Greed also fades when you remind yourself that trading is not about a single day but about thousands of days combined. The goal is not to make as much as possible today but to build consistency across months and years. By setting daily profit limits, you protect your account from the wild swings of impulsive greed. You may sacrifice the occasional huge win, but you gain stability, peace of mind, and longevity. And longevity is the true path to wealth, because the trader who survives is the trader who eventually thrives. One of the most damaging effects of greed is that it blinds you to risk. When your mind is obsessed with squeezing out more gains, you forget that the market can reverse instantly. This blindness causes traders to ignore stop losses or to move them further away, hoping the market will turn back in their favor. The irony is that what began as a winning position can turn into a deep loss, simply because greed refused to accept what was already enough. Daily profit targets break this cycle by giving you a clear exit point before emotions take control. You no longer rely on hope, you rely on structure. Greed also makes traders overtrade. After hitting a profit early in the day, many cannot resist going back in to chase more. This decision is rarely strategic, it is emotional. The more you win, the more you feel invincible, and that false confidence leads to reckless entries. By committing to stop trading after your goal is reached, you shield yourself from this dangerous cycle. Walking away after achieving your target is not weakness, it is wisdom. It shows that you value discipline more than impulse, and that is the true mark of a professional. It is also valuable to reflect on the deeper cause of greed. Greed is often rooted in fear. Fear of missing out, fear of not having enough, fear of falling behind others. By setting daily profit goals, you address this fear directly. You tell yourself that enough is enough, that your worth is not defined by squeezing every possible dollar, but by showing up with consistency, focus, and patience. This mindset does more than improve trading. It improves your relationship with money itself. You learn to respect steady growth rather than chasing endless accumulation. To strengthen this habit, celebrate small wins. Many traders ignore modest profits because they are fixated on large numbers. But if you consistently hit realistic daily targets, those modest wins compound into significant results over time. Train your mind to value consistency more than size. This mental shift reduces the temptation to chase more. because you begin to see the bigger picture. What feels like a small gain today may be the exact foundation of a strong account tomorrow. Greed can also be managed by practicing detachment from outcomes. When you set realistic targets, you shift the focus from the uncontrollable movement of the market to the controllable behavior of yourself. You cannot dictate how far price will move, but you can dictate when to stop. By taking ownership of this decision, you regain power over your emotions. You no longer feel enslaved to every tick, because your day is defined by meeting your goal, not by chasing more. The strength to stop once your daily profit is reached is not easy to build, but it is the strength that separates disciplined traders from impulsive gamblers. Every time you walk away after hitting your target, you reinforce discipline. Every time you resist the urge to chase, you grow stronger. Over time, this repeated practice rewires your behavior. You become the kind of trader who controls greed rather than being controlled by it. That transformation not only preserves profits, but also builds confidence that carries into every trade you take. Trading is not a race to riches, it is a test of discipline. Greed whispers that you can always make more, but wisdom reminds you that consistency beats recklessness every time. When you commit to realistic daily profit targets, you prove to yourself that you value the long-term game over short-term temptations. The market will always offer more opportunities, but if you exhaust yourself chasing them, you risk losing everything. Protect yourself by defining enough, by honoring it, and by sticking to it with discipline. At the end of each trading day, ask yourself not how much you could have made, but whether you stuck to your plan. Success is not measured by squeezing every dollar, but by maintaining control of your emotions and protecting your capital. Greed fades when discipline takes its place, and discipline grows when you set and respect realistic targets. If you can manage your hunger for more, you gain something far greater than a large profit. You gain mastery over yourself, and that mastery is the real secret to long-term success in trading. Chapter 8. Increase focus by removing distractions before trading starts. Focus is the weapon that separates a disciplined trader from a distracted one, and if you do not control your environment before the market opens, the market will control you. Every distraction, no matter how small, weakens your ability to make clear decisions, and trading is a game where clarity is everything. You cannot afford to split your attention between the charts and your phone, between a position and a conversation, between a strategy and social media. The market moves fast, and 1 second of distraction can erase hours of preparation. That is why removing distractions before you even start is not optional. It is necessary for survival. The human mind has limits. It cannot process constant interruptions and still perform at its highest level. When you allow notifications, noise, or unfinished tasks to invade your trading session, your focus fragments. Fragmented focus leads to hesitation. Hesitation leads to mistakes, and mistakes lead to losses. But when you take time to clear your space and silence every competing demand for your attention, you create a mental environment where you can see the market with precision. A clean environment produces a clean mind, and a clean mind produces strong decisions. Preparation for trading does not begin when the market bell rings. It begins in the moments before, when you decide what deserves your attention and what does not. This means silencing your phone, closing unnecessary browser tabs, finishing or postponing outside tasks, and communicating to others that this is your time of focus. You cannot treat trading like a casual activity and expect professional results. Professionals prepare their environment as carefully as they prepare their strategy. They understand that every source of distraction removed is one more layer of strength added to their concentration. Consider how many traders lose money not because their strategy was weak, but because their mind was divided. They saw the signal, but a notification pulled their eyes away. they wanted to enter, but a conversation distracted their focus. They were in profit, but instead of managing the position, they checked an email and missed the reversal. These are not technical failures, they are lapses in attention, and the solution is simple but powerful. Remove distractions before you start. Do not wait until you are already trading to fight them. By then, it is too late. When your trading space is free from distractions, you feel a different level of clarity. Your mind is sharper, your patience is stronger, and your ability to stay calm increases. You are no longer reacting to noise outside of you, but are fully engaged with what is in front of you. This state of deep focus is where the best decisions are made, because you can analyze with full attention and respond with precision. Every winning trade requires that kind of presence, and you cannot achieve it if your mind is constantly pulled in multiple directions. One powerful habit is to create a ritual before trading begins. This ritual signals to your brain that it is time to focus. It could be as simple as clearing your desk, adjusting your chair, taking a few deep breaths, or reviewing your trading plan one last time. By repeating this routine daily, you train your mind to associate it with concentrated effort. This reduces the temptation to check your phone, browse randomly, or multitask. You are reminding yourself that trading requires all of you, not fragments of you. Another key step is to control your digital environment. In today's world, most distractions come from screens. Social media, messages, alerts, they all compete for your attention. Before trading begins, log out of unnecessary platforms, mute notifications, and close windows that are not related to your trading process. This single step can transform your effectiveness, because it removes the triggers that tempt you to wander. If your trading platform is the only thing in front of you, your focus naturally stays where it belongs. Physical distractions matter just as much as digital ones. If your workspace is cluttered, your mind will be cluttered. If the environment around you is noisy, your thoughts will scatter. Take time to organize your desk. Keep only the essentials, and minimize noise wherever possible. Let the people around you know that your trading time is non-negotiable. You are not available for small talk or interruptions. Protecting your environment is protecting your focus, and protecting your focus is protecting your capital. Distractions also come from within. Internal noise can be louder than external noise. If you begin trading with unresolved worries, unfinished tasks, or emotional tension, your mind will wander no matter how quiet your room is. That is why part of preparation is addressing your internal state. Write down tasks to handle later, clear your schedule of competing obligations, and give yourself mental permission to focus solely on trading for the time you have set aside. When your mind is free from unfinished business, it can give its full energy to the market. The danger of distraction is that it feels harmless in the moment. You tell yourself you are only glancing at your phone for a second, only responding to one message, only checking something quickly. But in trading, a second is enough to miss an entry, to let a winner turn into a loser, or to hesitate on an important decision. The cost of distraction is always greater than the small pleasure it gives. By eliminating them in advance, you remove the temptation to justify them. You eliminate the option of divided focus before it can arise. Focus is a competitive advantage. Most traders are not fully focused when they trade. They are distracted by technology, conversations, or their own restless mind. If you commit to eliminating distractions, you immediately separate yourself from the majority. You give yourself the ability to see opportunities others miss, to manage trades with more discipline, and to execute your plan with consistency. This advantage compounds over time, turning into stronger results and greater confidence. There is also a psychological benefit to trading without distractions. When your environment is controlled, You feel in control. That sense of control reduces stress and anxiety, which in turn allows you to think more clearly. Distractions, on the other hand, create a constant feeling of being pulled in multiple directions, which increases mental fatigue and emotional tension. By choosing focus, you protect your energy, and in trading, energy is precious. You cannot afford to waste it. Think about the kind of trader you want to be. Do you want to be the one who treats trading as a side activity while multitasking with countless other things, or do you want to be the one who approaches it with full seriousness and presence? The market rewards the latter. The traders who make consistent progress are those who give trading their undivided attention. Removing distractions before trading is a declaration that you belong to that group. It is a statement that you value discipline, preparation, and results. Every day you trade, you are training yourself. If you trade while distracted, you are training your brain to accept divided focus as normal. But if you eliminate distractions, you are training your brain to expect deep focus every session. Over time, this training builds habits that shape your future results. You do not just trade better today, you build a mindset that will keep serving you tomorrow. This is why preparation matters so much. It is not only about one session, it is about building the foundation of your entire trading career. The truth is, distractions will always exist. The world will not stop trying to grab your attention, but you have the power to decide whether they control you or not. By taking simple steps before trading starts, you decide in advance that your focus will not be broken. You reclaim your time, your energy, and your clarity. And when you trade with that kind of undivided presence, you give yourself the best chance to succeed consistently. Focus is your greatest ally, but only if you protect it. Remove distractions before trading, create an environment of clarity, and step into the market with a mind that is sharp, calm, and ready. This single habit can change your entire trading performance because it transforms how you see, how you think, and how you act. Control your environment, and you will control your focus. Control your focus, and you will control your results. Chapter 9. Practice journaling to track emotions and trading behavior. Growth as a trader begins the moment you start taking responsibility not only for your trades, but also for the emotions that drive them, and journaling is the tool that forces this responsibility into action. Too many traders repeat the same mistakes because they never stop to reflect, they never capture the patterns of their own behavior, and they never face the truth about how their emotions influence decisions. A trading journal is not just a log of wins and losses, it is a mirror that shows you exactly how you think, how you react, and how you can improve. Without it, you are guessing in the dark. With it, you gain clarity that most traders never achieve. When you practice journaling consistently, you give yourself the gift of perspective. Memory is unreliable. In the heat of the market, emotions distort your perception, and later you often forget what truly happened. But when you write down the details, the entry, the exit, the reason behind the trade, and most importantly, how you felt in that moment, you create a record that cannot be denied. Over time, patterns emerge. You may notice that you become impulsive after a losing streak, or that you exit too early whenever fear creeps in, or that greed takes over when you see quick profits. These patterns are invisible until you capture them in writing. Journaling builds self-awareness in a way no other practice can. Every trader claims to want discipline, but discipline begins with understanding yourself. You cannot change what you do not notice. A journal allows you to notice. It slows you down and forces you to analyze your own mind with honesty. You begin to see your strengths and weaknesses with clarity. You begin to recognize what triggers your poor decisions. You begin to understand what keeps you calm and what throws you off balance. This is how discipline grows, not by hoping to be stronger, but by identifying the situations that make you weak and preparing for them. A proper trading journal does not need to be complicated, but it must be intentional. It should include the technical details of each trade, such as entry point, exit point, stop loss, and position size, but it should also record your thoughts and feelings. Did you follow your plan? Did you second-guess yourself? Were you afraid of missing out? Were you overconfident because of earlier profits? These are the questions that matter. Numbers tell you what happened. Words tell you why it happened. And it is the why that determines whether you can grow or stay stuck. The act of writing itself is powerful. When you write, you slow down your thinking. You are forced to organize your thoughts instead of letting them rush through your head. This process of slowing down brings clarity and calm. You start to see that emotions are not random. They follow certain triggers. By capturing them, you begin to take control over them. Instead of being driven blindly by feelings, you become an observer of them. And once you can observe your emotions, you can manage them. Journaling also creates accountability. Without it, it is easy to blame the market, bad luck, or outside factors. With it, the truth is in front of you. If you broke your rules, it is written down. If you entered out of fear, it is recorded. If you let greed take over, you cannot hide it. This honesty might feel uncomfortable, but it is exactly what you need to grow. Traders who refuse to face their own behavior remain stuck in cycles of repeated failure. Traders who document their behavior gain the power to break free. The benefits of journaling extend beyond self-awareness. Over time, your journal becomes a guidebook filled with lessons tailored specifically to you. You can look back and see what setups worked best, what times of day were more profitable, and what conditions made you more likely to succeed. You can refine your strategy with real evidence from your own experience instead of relying on vague memory or outside advice. This personal data becomes your edge, and it is available only if you commit to documenting it. Many traders resist journaling because it feels like extra work. But the truth is that the time you spend writing saves you far more time later by preventing repeated mistakes. Every mistake avoided is money saved. Every emotion managed is capital preserved. Think of your journal as a tool that protects you from yourself, the same way a stop-loss protects you from the market. It is not a burden. It is a weapon for success. Journaling also strengthens patience. When you take time to write about your trades, you naturally slow down. You are less likely to rush into the next position because you are focused on reflecting before acting again. This habit reduces impulsive decisions and brings more intentionality to your process. Trading is not about constant action, it is about deliberate action. Journaling reinforces that mindset by creating a pause between one trade and the next. To make journaling effective, consistency is the key. It is not enough to write occasionally when you feel like it. The real power comes from daily practice. Even on days you do not trade, you can still journal about your thoughts, your preparation, and your mindset. This keeps you engaged and helps you track your growth over time. Consistency transforms journaling from a task into a habit, and once it becomes a habit, it becomes a source of strength. Imagine the trader who journals for a year compared to the one who does not. The first trader has a record of hundreds of trades, a clear understanding of their emotions, a list of mistakes to avoid, and evidence of what works best. The second trader has only scattered memories and repeated frustrations. Which one do you think is more likely to succeed in the long run? The answer is obvious. Journaling is not just about today's trade. It is about building a foundation for your entire trading future. Beyond trading, journaling develops life skills that carry into every area of personal growth. You become more reflective, more honest, and more disciplined in how you approach challenges. You learn to observe your emotions without being controlled by them. You train yourself to slow down and analyze instead of reacting impulsively. These qualities will improve not just your trading, but your relationships, your decisions, and your overall resilience. There is also an emotional release in journaling. Trading is stressful, and holding those emotions inside creates pressure. Writing them out is a healthy way to release that tension. When you put your frustrations, fears, and doubts on paper, you lighten the weight they carry. Instead of letting them swirl endlessly in your head, you place them outside of yourself, where you can see them clearly and let them go. This release is not weakness, it is strength, because it keeps your mind free to focus on the next opportunity. Your journal becomes a story of your journey as a trader. It captures not just numbers, but growth. It shows how you moved from impulsiveness to discipline, from emotional reactions to calm decisions, from repeated mistakes to consistent progress. It is a story of becoming more self-aware, more resilient, and more capable. And when you look back on it, you will not only see your profits, you will see your transformation. If you want to control your emotions in trading, journaling is not optional. It is the daily practice that turns chaos into clarity and experience into wisdom. It allows you to stop being a prisoner of your emotions and start being the master of them. Every page you write brings you closer to the disciplined trader you want to be. Start today, keep it simple, and stay consistent. Over time, your journal will become the most valuable tool you own, not because it predicts the market, but because it reveals yourself. And once you know yourself, no market condition can shake your foundation. Chapter 10. Build resilience by accepting losses without self-criticism. True strength in trading is not measured by how many times you win, but by how you handle the moments when you lose. Because losses are not just part of the market, they are part of growth. Many traders collapse under the weight of disappointment after a losing trade, attacking themselves with harsh words, questioning their abilities, and drowning in self-criticism. This reaction not only weakens confidence, but also blinds them from the lesson hidden within the loss. Resilience begins the moment you refuse to punish yourself for a result you cannot fully control and instead accept it as feedback to sharpen your approach. Every trader must come to terms with the truth that no strategy, no plan, and no amount of preparation can completely erase losing trades. The market is uncertain, and even the best setups sometimes fail. Accepting this fact frees you from unrealistic expectations. When you believe you should never lose, every small setback feels like failure. But when you understand that losing is inevitable, you stop resisting it and start focusing on what you can control, your response. This shift in perspective is the foundation of resilience. Criticizing yourself after a loss is dangerous because it creates fear and hesitation. You begin to doubt your skills, avoid opportunities, or enter trades too late. The cycle of overthinking builds pressure until trading becomes a source of stress instead of growth. By contrast, acceptance allows you to move forward with clarity. You no longer waste energy fighting what has already happened. Instead, you focus on extracting lessons and applying them in your next decision. This mindset separates those who survive in trading from those who quit too early. Building resilience requires you to create a healthier relationship with losses. Rather than treating them as personal failures, treat them as neutral data. A loss does not mean you are weak, undisciplined, or incapable. It simply means the market moved differently than expected. When you remove the personal judgment, you can look at the trade objectively. Was your analysis solid, but the outcome unfavorable? Was your risk too high? Did emotions influence your entry or exit? This kind of reflection is possible only when you do not attack yourself with criticism. One of the strongest practices for resilience is setting clear boundaries before every trade. Define how much you are willing to risk and accept it fully the moment you enter. If the trade moves against you, the loss will hurt less because you already accepted the possibility. This mindset shifts your identity from someone who must be right to someone who executes a process. When you focus on executing the process, each trade becomes a step in a larger journey rather than a judgment of your worth. Resilience also grows when you separate your self-worth from your trading results. You are not the sum of your wins and losses. You are the sum of your discipline, your growth, and your consistency in following your plan. When you tie your identity to outcomes, every loss feels like an attack on who you are. But when you tie your identity to effort and growth, losses become opportunities to strengthen your discipline. You cannot always control whether a trade wins, but you can always control how you react, how you learn, and how you prepare for the next move. Another important part of resilience is giving yourself space after a loss. Too often, traders jump immediately into the next trade, trying to recover quickly. This behavior, known as revenge trading, is driven by wounded pride and desperation. It often leads to bigger losses and deeper frustration. Instead, step back. Take a pause. Allow yourself to process the outcome without rushing to fix it. Use this space to breathe, reflect, and reset. Returning with a clear mind gives you the best chance of making rational choices. Resilience is not about ignoring the pain of losses. It is about facing the discomfort and choosing not to let it break you. Acknowledge the frustration, feel it fully, and then release it. This process builds emotional strength because you train yourself to experience difficulty without running from it or letting it dominate you. Over time, each loss becomes less threatening because you have built the confidence that you can handle it. Daily habits also play a role in strengthening resilience. Keeping a journal of your trades allows you to process losses constructively instead of emotionally. Practicing mindfulness or meditation helps you let go of negative thoughts before they spiral. Maintaining a balanced lifestyle with exercise, healthy eating, and enough rest ensures that losses do not overwhelm you as easily because your mind and body are already strong. Resilience is not built in a single moment of difficulty. It is built day by day through small habits that keep you grounded. To build resilience, you must also adopt a long-term perspective. Losses feel devastating when you view trading as a single event, but they lose their power when you see trading as a lifelong journey. A single bad day means little in the context of hundreds of trades. One setback cannot define you when you commit to learning and improving over years. This broader perspective allows you to take each loss in stride, knowing it is only one step in a much larger path. The truth is that resilience is a choice. You cannot choose whether you lose, but you can choose whether you grow or collapse after it. Every time you accept a loss without self-criticism, you train yourself to be stronger. Every time you reflect instead of blaming yourself, you sharpen your wisdom. Every time you move forward with discipline, you prove to yourself that setbacks cannot control you. These choices compound over time until resilience becomes second nature. If you want to succeed as a trader, you must stop viewing losses as enemies and start viewing them as teachers. They test your patience, reveal your weaknesses, and push you to refine your strategy. Without them, growth would be impossible. The most successful traders are not those who avoid losses, but those who know how to transform them into lessons. This transformation is only possible when you stop tearing yourself down and start accepting losses with strength and clarity. So when the next loss comes, and it will pause and remind yourself that this does not define you, it is only one outcome in a much larger game. Write it down, study it, and move forward. Do not let self-criticism poison your confidence. Instead, let acceptance build your resilience. Over time, you will discover that you can face any market condition without breaking, because your strength no longer depends on outcomes. It depends on your ability to remain calm, disciplined, and determined. That is the essence of resilience, and it is the mindset that will carry you through every challenge trading places in your path. Chapter 11. Strengthen confidence by studying proven trading strategies daily. Success in trading is never a matter of luck. It is the result of knowledge applied with confidence, and that confidence comes from studying proven strategies every single day. When you step into the market without preparation, you are like someone walking into a storm without shelter. The market is vast, unpredictable, and unforgiving, but it also rewards those who respect its structure and learn how it operates. The best traders do not rely on feelings or guesswork. They rely on the repetition of studying what has already been tested and what has consistently worked. Every time you dedicate a portion of your day to reviewing and studying proven strategies, you build a stronger foundation, and with that foundation comes an unshakable belief in your ability to act with precision. Many traders lose confidence because they enter trades without a clear framework. They may win occasionally, but those wins feel random because they don't fully understand why they happened. This creates doubt and hesitation the next time an opportunity comes. By studying strategies that have been backtested, refined, and successfully used by professionals, you eliminate uncertainty and replace it with certainty. You begin to see patterns in the market that once looked like noise. You can spot setups and recognize conditions because you have seen them before in your studies, and this recognition builds conviction. Conviction is what allows you to pull the trigger on a trade without fear holding you back. Daily study is not about memorizing rules like a student cramming for an exam. It is about immersing yourself in the logic behind the strategy so deeply that it becomes second nature. Think about an athlete who practices the same drill thousands of times until their body responds automatically in a real game. Trading requires the same kind of repetition. When you study a strategy daily, whether it is trend following, mean reversion, breakout patterns, or any other approach, you are wiring your brain to recognize the conditions instantly. This repeated exposure develops trust in your process, and when you trust your process, your confidence grows. Confidence is not the absence of doubt. It is the mastery that makes doubt powerless. Many traders wait for confidence to arrive after they win big, but the truth is that confidence is cultivated long before the trade is ever taken. It is built when you spend time analyzing charts, reviewing entry and exit points, and understanding why certain setups succeed while others fail. This habit of studying ensures that when you do take trades, you are acting from knowledge, not from hope. That shift from hope to knowledge is what separates the struggling trader from the consistent one. The market is always changing, but the principles behind many strategies remain consistent because human behavior does not change. Fear and greed drive decisions, and proven strategies are designed to take advantage of these recurring patterns. By studying them daily, you are not just learning rules, you are learning how to anticipate the decisions of thousands of other market participants. This ability gives you an edge. With an edge, your trades are not random, they are intentional. Each time you place a trade based on a proven strategy you have studied, you reinforce your confidence because you know you are acting with reason rather than impulse. It is also important to note that daily study is about depth, not speed. Rushing through a new strategy in one sitting will not give you confidence. True confidence comes from revisiting the same material again and again, observing how it applies in different market conditions, and testing your understanding. Journaling what you study each day adds another layer of reinforcement. When you write down what you have learned and what stood out to you, The information becomes more solid in your mind. Over time, your journal becomes a record of growth, showing you how much more equipped you are today compared to when you started. This visible progress strengthens your belief in yourself. There will always be days when the market tests your patience. You may take a trade based on a strategy you know well, and it might not work out. That is part of trading. But the key difference is how you respond. If you have been studying proven strategies every day, you will not question your ability. Instead, you will accept the outcome as part of probability. You will know that losses are temporary setbacks, not reflections of your capability. This resilience is born from consistent study because it gives you the assurance that over time your strategy will yield results if you stick with it. Studying daily also helps you adapt. The best traders do not stubbornly stick to one rigid approach. They refine their strategies as markets evolve. By reviewing strategies consistently, you become better at identifying when adjustments are necessary. You can spot subtle shifts in volatility, liquidity, or momentum that require you to tweak your entries or exits. This adaptability further strengthens your confidence because you are not just copying a formula, you are mastering a system and learning to evolve with it. Another benefit of daily study is discipline. When you commit to studying strategies at a set time every day, you are training yourself to be consistent. Consistency in preparation translates into consistency in execution. Confidence does not thrive in chaos. It thrives in routine. Each day you sit down and immerse yourself in proven methods. You are reinforcing the discipline that carries into your trading decisions. You become less likely to chase trades, less likely to deviate from your plan, and less likely to be swayed by emotion. Confidence is also reinforced through small wins that come from applying what you have studied. Each time you successfully execute a trade exactly as your strategy outlines, regardless of profit size, you validate your preparation. This validation builds a chain of trust between you and your system. Over time, that chain becomes unbreakable, allowing you to weather setbacks without doubting yourself. Traders who skip this process often crumble after a string of losses because their confidence was built on fragile ground. Yours, however, is built on repeated study, tested knowledge, and lived experience. The act of studying proven strategies daily also keeps you humble. It reminds you that the market is bigger than you, that success comes from learning continuously, and that confidence is never final, it is earned each day. This humility protects you from overconfidence, which can be just as dangerous as doubt. You respect the process, you respect the market, and in doing so, you strengthen the right kind of confidence, the one rooted in preparation rather than arrogance. Imagine how different your trading journey will feel once this habit is firmly in place. Instead of second-guessing every decision, you will operate with clarity. Instead of being overwhelmed by conflicting opinions, you will rely on the strategies you know inside and out. Instead of hoping the market will reward you, you will execute with certainty, because your actions are supported by hours of study. This transformation is not an overnight change. It is the result of showing up every day, committing to growth, and refusing to settle for ignorance. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you build. And the daily practice of studying proven strategies is one of the most powerful ways to build it. Each day you commit to learning, you are sharpening your edge. Each day you repeat the process, you are reinforcing trust in yourself. And each day you act from knowledge rather than emotion, you are becoming the kind of trader who does not just survive in the market, but thrives in it. That is the confidence you need. The confidence that cannot be shaken because it is built on truth, discipline, and consistent preparation. Chapter 12. Train consistency by following one method without deviation. Consistency is the hidden power that separates traders who succeed from those who constantly struggle, and the only way to master consistency is by following one method without deviation. Too many people jump from one approach to another, chasing the illusion of a perfect system. They convince themselves that if they just find the next new strategy, they will finally achieve the results they want. But the truth is that the lack of results often comes not from the strategy itself, but from the inability to stick to one path long enough to see it work. Every method requires time, patience, and commitment to reveal its potential. Abandoning a system too soon prevents you from ever building the trust, discipline, and confidence needed to trade it successfully. Think about how many traders have fallen into the trap of constantly tweaking, constantly switching, and constantly searching for something better. This constant movement leads to scattered results. One week, they trade breakouts. The next week, they chase reversals. Then they experiment with scalping, and before long, they end up with no solid foundation. Their trades feel random because their process is random. Without consistency in method, there can be no consistency in outcome. And in trading, outcomes are the only proof of progress. Following one method without deviation allows you to see the deeper layers of that approach. At first, you may only understand the basic rules, but with repetition, you begin to notice subtle details. You see how the method performs in different market environments, how it responds to volatility, and how it behaves when the market is flat or trending. This deeper level of understanding is only possible through repeated application. If you constantly jump around, you never reach this level of mastery, and your results will always feel unpredictable. Consistency in method also builds trust in yourself. When you commit to one approach and follow it trade after trade, you are teaching your mind that you can be disciplined. Each time you stick to the rules instead of breaking them, you reinforce your ability to stay in control. Over time, this strengthens your belief that you can handle the market with discipline rather than impulse. This trust in yourself is just as important as trust in your method, because if you cannot rely on your own discipline, no strategy in the world will save you. Many traders fail because they underestimate how powerful simplicity can be. They think that complex systems with dozens of indicators will give them an edge, but often the simplest methods are the most effective when applied consistently. The challenge is not in creating endless variations, it is in sticking to the plan and executing it without deviation. Mastery does not come from knowing 100 methods, it comes from executing one method 100 times with focus and discipline. Sticking to one method also protects you from emotional swings. When you constantly change your approach, every loss feels like proof that you chose the wrong system, and every win feels like luck. This creates emotional instability, making you feel like you're always on shaky ground. But when you commit to one method, you stop blaming the system for every result. You begin to accept that losses are part of the process, and that consistency over time will produce the edge you are looking for. This emotional stability is crucial because it allows you to focus on execution rather than constant doubt. Following one method without deviation is also the fastest way to identify whether that method truly works for you. By applying it consistently, you generate a large enough sample of trades to evaluate its performance. If you switch strategies after only a handful of trades, you will never gather enough data to judge accurately. Serious traders know that evaluation requires dozens, sometimes hundreds of trades to reveal the truth, and only by sticking to one approach can you gather that evidence. Without this commitment, you are simply guessing. Another benefit of consistency is efficiency. When you focus on one method, your preparation becomes streamlined. You know exactly what to look for, what conditions to analyze, and how to act when your setup appears. You save mental energy because your process is clear. On the other hand, juggling multiple methods drains focus. You hesitate because you are torn between different rules. This hesitation costs you opportunities, and in trading, hesitation can be just as damaging as taking the wrong trade. Confidence, clarity, and control all grow out of consistency. When you trade the same method every day, your process becomes automatic. You no longer waste time second-guessing because you already know what to do. This frees you to concentrate on execution rather than constant decision-making. And as your execution improves, your results naturally improve. This creates a powerful cycle where discipline leads to results, and results reinforce discipline. It is important to remember that consistency does not mean stubbornness. Following one method without deviation means committing to it long enough to evaluate and master it, not blindly sticking to it forever if it proves unprofitable. Once you have applied it over a sufficient number of trades and conditions, you can make an informed decision about whether it aligns with your goals and personality. But until you reach that point, changing methods prematurely is the surest way to stay stuck in the cycle of inconsistency. Traders who build consistency understand that mastery is not about excitement. It is about repetition. The daily practice of following one method might feel boring at times, but that boredom is actually a sign of progress. When trading becomes routine, it means you have internalized the rules. You are no longer driven by impulse, you are guided by structure. And in trading, structure is what keeps you stable when the market tries to pull you in every direction. Think of the traders who inspire you most. They are not successful because they know every possible method. They are successful because they found one approach that fit their personality and applied it with relentless consistency. They tuned out distractions, ignored the endless noise of new systems, and committed to mastering one way of trading. That commitment is what gave them the results others only dream about. By training yourself to follow one method without deviation, you are also training your patience. You are reminding yourself that the market does not reward impulse, but discipline. You are proving to yourself that you can stick to a plan, even when your emotions try to pull you away. This patience is a skill that not only improves your trading, but also strengthens your character. It teaches you persistence, focus, and resilience, all traits that extend far beyond the charts. In the end, consistency is the real edge. Not indicators, not tools, not secrets, just the ability to stick with one approach and execute it with discipline over time. If you can master this, your trading will transform, your results will become steadier, your confidence will grow, and your process will finally feel clear. You will no longer feel lost or scattered because you will know exactly what to do every single day. That is the power of training consistency by following one method without deviation. It turns chaos into clarity and hesitation into confident action. Chapter 13: Improve decision-making by slowing down impulsive reactions. The strength of a trader is not measured by how quickly they act, but by how clearly they think. And one of the most powerful skills you can build is the ability to improve decision-making by slowing down impulsive reactions. The market moves fast, and when you see a sudden candle spike or a quick price reversal, your natural instinct is to jump in. But instinctive actions in trading rarely align with rational decisions. They are driven by fear of missing out or by the urge to recover losses quickly, and both of these emotions lead to errors that could have been avoided with just a moment of pause. Slowing down allows you to evaluate the situation rather than react blindly, and this simple shift can completely change the outcome of your trades. Think about how often traders regret a decision made in haste. You see a setup forming, you click the buy or sell button almost instantly, and then only after entering the trade do you realize you skipped your checklist, ignored the trend, or missed a critical piece of information. That regret always comes after the fact, and it often leads to even more reckless choices because you try to fix the mistake with another impulsive trade. This cycle repeats until your account suffers. The way to break this cycle is to develop the discipline of slowing down. A few extra seconds to confirm your analysis, to breathe, to check your plan, can mean the difference between a winning trade and an avoidable loss. Slowing down does not mean hesitation or missed opportunities. It means creating space between your emotions and your actions. By introducing that space, you give your rational mind the chance to override your emotional impulses. This is not about moving at a snail's pace. It is about moving with clarity. When you slow down, you regain control over your process instead of being dragged by market noise. The goal is not to trade faster, but to trade smarter, and smarter decisions always come from a calm and deliberate state of mind. One of the most effective ways to slow down impulsive reactions is by creating deliberate checkpoints before you enter a trade. For example, you can train yourself to ask 3 quick questions. Does this trade align with my plan? Have I identified my stop loss and target? Am I risking within my rules? These questions take only seconds to answer, yet they interrupt the rush of emotion that pushes you to act without thinking. Over time, this small habit conditions your brain to pause naturally before every decision, and that pause is what saves you from mistakes. Another powerful technique is practicing controlled breathing. When you feel your heart racing and your hand itching to click, take a deep breath in, hold it for a moment, and release it slowly. This simple act signals your nervous system to calm down. It slows your heart rate, clears your mind, and helps you see the trade for what it really is, instead of through the lens of anxiety or greed. Many traders overlook this because it seems too basic, but in high-pressure moments, even small physical actions can create the mental space you need to avoid impulsive mistakes. Slowing down impulsive reactions also helps you see the bigger picture. When you act too quickly, you often focus only on the immediate candle or the last move, ignoring the broader context of the chart. But when you pause, you remind yourself to zoom out, to look at the trend, to assess the overall market condition. You realize that what felt urgent a moment ago might just be noise within a larger pattern. By seeing the bigger picture, your decisions become grounded in analysis rather than in emotional urgency. It is important to understand that impulsive reactions are not a sign of weakness. They are a natural human response to uncertainty and risk. The market triggers your fight or flight instincts, making you feel like you must act immediately to protect yourself or to capture something before it slips away. The challenge is not to eliminate these instincts, but to manage them. By slowing down, you train yourself to recognize the feeling without obeying it. You acknowledge the urge to act, but you choose to wait, to think, and then to move deliberately. This is how you transform emotion into control. Another practical way to slow down is by limiting the number of trades you allow yourself in a day. When you know you only have a set number of chances, you automatically become more careful with each decision. You are less likely to jump in without thought because you understand that every trade matters. This limitation forces you to pause, to evaluate, and to ensure that your choice is worth one of your limited slots. This simple boundary can drastically reduce impulsive actions and improve the overall quality of your decisions. Recording your trades is also a powerful tool. When you know you will review each decision later, you hold yourself accountable. You become more conscious of your actions because you know that you cannot hide from the truth of your journal. This awareness naturally slows you down. Instead of reacting recklessly, you pause to think, will this decision make sense when I review it later? That moment of reflection gives you the clarity to act with reason rather than impulse. Slowing down impulsive reactions is not only about preventing losses, it is also about protecting your confidence. Every time you act impulsively and regret it, your self-trust weakens. You begin to doubt yourself, and that doubt lingers in future trades. But when you slow down and make thoughtful decisions, even if a trade results in a loss, you feel stronger because you know you acted with discipline. You build trust in your process rather than tying your confidence to every single outcome. This trust is what sustains you through the ups and downs of trading. You must remind yourself that the market will always provide opportunities. There is no need to chase every move. The urge to act immediately comes from the false belief that you will miss out forever if you don't act now. But the truth is that new opportunities form every single day. By slowing down, you ensure that you capture the opportunities that fit your plan, rather than wasting energy on random impulses. Patience and control are always rewarded in the long run, while impulse only drains your account and your focus. The practice of slowing down also improves your ability to manage other emotions like fear, greed, and frustration. Impulses are often fueled by these emotions, and by learning to pause, you weaken their power over you. This discipline extends beyond trading, shaping your character in daily life. You become more deliberate in your choices, more thoughtful in your actions, and more confident in your ability to control yourself. Trading becomes not only a test of skill, but also a training ground for self-mastery. As you continue to practice slowing down, you will notice a shift. The same market moves that once triggered instant reactions will no longer control you. You will see the price spike, feel the old urge to act, and then calmly let it pass until your setup aligns. This is the moment you realize that you have gained control, not over the market, but over yourself. That is the real power, because the market cannot be controlled, but your reactions can. Slowing down impulsive reactions turns you into a trader who acts with intention rather than emotion. It separates you from the crowd of people chasing every move. It gives you the clarity to see opportunities more clearly and the discipline to act only when it makes sense. And over time it transforms your results, because your decisions are no longer random. They are consistent, rational, and aligned with your plan. The more you practice this skill, the stronger it becomes. At first, it may feel difficult to resist the urge to act quickly, but each time you succeed in pausing, you build another layer of discipline. Soon, the pause becomes automatic and your decisions improve naturally. This is how you elevate your trading, not by rushing, but by mastering the art of slowing down and making decisions with clarity and control. Chapter 14. Protect balance by keeping trading hours under control. Success in trading is not only about the strategies you use, but also about the balance you create by keeping your trading hours under control. Because the more disciplined you are with your time, the stronger and more consistent your results will be. Many traders fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they overextend themselves, staring at charts for endless hours, forcing trades when the market is not offering good opportunities, and draining both their energy and their focus. Trading is mentally demanding, and if you don't control the hours you dedicate to it, you will eventually reach a state of fatigue where every decision becomes clouded, every impulse becomes harder to resist, and every mistake carries a heavier price. Limiting your trading hours is a form of self-protection. It ensures that you approach the market with sharp focus and fresh energy, instead of with exhaustion and frustration. Think about it. If you try to trade all day, every day, you may feel like you are increasing your chances of success, but in reality you are only increasing your chances of making poor decisions. When you are tired, your judgment weakens, your emotions rise to the surface, and you lose the ability to follow your plan with clarity. By setting specific trading hours and sticking to them, you create boundaries that protect your mental and emotional balance, which are the true foundations of long-term success. A clear schedule also builds consistency. The markets operate in cycles, and certain times of the day offer more reliable opportunities than others. By focusing your energy on those windows, you improve your efficiency while avoiding the trap of constant screen watching. For example, many traders find the first hours after a market opens to be the most active and predictable. If you decide that you will trade only during those hours, you give yourself a structure that aligns with market behavior while protecting the rest of your day for rest, learning, or other priorities. This routine not only keeps you fresh, but also reduces the risk of emotional trading outside of your best conditions. Protecting balance through controlled trading hours also helps you maintain a healthier lifestyle. Trading can consume your entire life if you allow it. The endless flow of price movement creates the illusion that you must always be watching, always be ready to act. But living this way isolates you, steals time from your relationships, and prevents you from developing other important areas of life. When you set boundaries around your trading, you free yourself to exercise, to spend time with family, to rest properly, and to enjoy activities that recharge your mind. Ironically, it is these non-trading moments that strengthen your ability to trade well, because they prevent burnout and give you a clearer perspective when you return to the charts. It is also important to realize that more screen time does not equal more profits. Some of the most successful traders spend only a few hours per day analyzing, setting up, and executing their trades. Their results come from quality, not quantity. By respecting your trading hours, you teach yourself to value precision over activity. You stop chasing every move and instead focus on the opportunities that truly align with your strategy. This patience not only saves you from losses, but also strengthens your confidence in your system, because you see that discipline brings results while overexposure brings stress. Another key benefit of controlled trading hours is emotional stability. The longer you stay glued to the screen, the more you expose yourself to constant price fluctuations. Every tick up or down starts to feel personal, and soon you find yourself entering and exiting trades without thought, simply reacting to every movement. By limiting your hours, you reduce the emotional roller coaster, keeping yourself grounded and less likely to fall into impulsive behaviors. You learn to treat trading as a focused task rather than an endless battle, and this shift changes your entire relationship with the market. One effective way to protect your balance is to set both a starting time and an ending time for your trading. Commit to beginning your session at a consistent time each day, and once your set hours are complete, close your charts and walk away, no matter what. This discipline is powerful because it prevents you from falling into the trap of revenge trading or trying to chase extra profits after a long session. It forces you to operate within a clear framework, and over time you build trust in yourself as someone who respects your own boundaries. That trust translates into more confident and stable trading decisions. It is also wise to connect your trading hours with your performance goals. For example, once you reach your daily target, whether profit or maximum loss, end your session immediately. This practice prevents you from overtrading and ensures that you protect your account as well as your energy. By keeping your hours tied to measurable outcomes, you stay in control rather than allowing greed or frustration to extend your time in the market. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes to treat trading as a structured profession instead of an endless gamble. Managing trading hours also prepares you for the long game. Trading is not about one day, 1 week, or even 1 month. It is about years of steady growth. If you exhaust yourself early on by overexposure, you will not have the endurance to sustain your journey. But if you pace yourself, if you create a rhythm that balances trading with rest and reflection, you preserve your energy for the future. Longevity comes from consistency, and consistency is only possible when you avoid the extremes of overwork and emotional burnout. The discipline of protecting balance through controlled hours also sharpens your decision-making. When your time is limited, You become more selective. You look for the highest quality setups instead of forcing trades. You train yourself to wait for clarity rather than acting on every small fluctuation. This selectivity strengthens your strategy and gives you greater confidence in your results, because you know that each trade you take is the product of patience and thought, not of fatigue or compulsion. Beyond trading performance, controlling your hours also impacts your overall happiness and health. Sleep improves, stress decreases, and your mind feels lighter. Instead of obsessing about every market move, you begin to trust your structure. You stop chasing perfection and start valuing balance, realizing that trading is part of your life, not your entire life. This perspective is vital because it prevents you from becoming consumed by the markets and keeps you grounded in the bigger picture of your personal growth. Traders who ignore this principle often experience cycles of burnout, where periods of intense screen time are followed by exhaustion, frustration, and poor results. They push themselves to work longer, believing that effort alone will lead to success, but in trading, uncontrolled effort only multiplies mistakes. Protecting your balance means respecting the limits of your mind and body, and understanding that sustainable growth comes from controlled focus, not endless activity. Each time you choose to honor your trading hours, you strengthen your discipline. You prove to yourself that you are not controlled by the market, but that you control how you engage with it. This mindset shift is powerful because it places you in command of your process, and that sense of control builds confidence in both trading and in life. You begin to understand that self-mastery is not about doing more, but about doing enough with clarity and intention. If you want lasting success as a trader, you must embrace the principle that balance creates strength. Your trading hours are not just numbers on a clock. They are boundaries that protect your energy, sharpen your focus, and keep your emotions under control. When you respect those boundaries, you give yourself the best chance to succeed, not just today, but every day forward. By keeping your trading hours under control, you protect both your account and your mind, and in the end, that protection is what allows you to grow with consistency and confidence. Chapter 15. Build mental strength through regular physical exercise habits. Building mental strength is not something that happens by wishful thinking, but through consistent, disciplined physical exercise habits that train your mind to endure challenges and stay focused under pressure. Many traders underestimate the connection between their physical state and their mental performance. Yet the reality is that the mind cannot operate at its peak when the body is fatigued, tense, or neglected. Physical exercise does more than improve health. It conditions the brain, sharpens concentration, and strengthens resilience, which are essential qualities for anyone seeking to succeed in trading. When you commit to regular movement, your ability to handle stress, recover from losses, and maintain focus during long trading sessions grows exponentially. The human brain responds directly to physical activity. Aerobic exercise increases blood flow, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to brain cells. This enhanced circulation improves memory, attention, and decision-making speed, all of which are vital for trading. Even brief periods of exercise stimulate the production of chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which regulate mood and motivation. A trader who exercises regularly is less likely to be swayed by emotional impulses, more capable of maintaining patience, and better equipped to handle the inevitable stress of the market. By neglecting your body, you compromise your mental clarity, leaving yourself more vulnerable to mistakes driven by fatigue or frustration. Building a consistent exercise habit also teaches discipline. It requires showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it, following through on a plan, and pushing beyond comfort zones. These same lessons translate directly to trading. When you push yourself through a challenging workout, whether it is lifting weights, running, or performing high-intensity interval training, You are training your mind to tolerate discomfort and maintain focus. That tolerance carries over to your trading sessions, allowing you to manage losses, resist impulsive trades, and stick to your strategy even when conditions are difficult. Mental endurance in trading grows directly from physical endurance in life. Exercise also reduces stress in a tangible way. Trading naturally generates pressure because of the risks and uncertainty involved, and prolonged stress can cloud judgment, increase impulsivity, and deplete confidence. Regular physical activity triggers a natural stress relief mechanism. Sweating, moving, and exerting your body releases tension and calms the nervous system. A calmer nervous system allows you to approach the markets with composure, to make decisions based on logic rather than emotion, and to recover quickly from setbacks. Over time, the stress resilience developed through physical activity becomes a mental strength that supports consistent trading performance. Another benefit is improved energy management. Traders who sit for long hours without movement often experience mental fatigue, irritability, and a decline in attention. Exercise, on the other hand, boosts energy levels by strengthening the cardiovascular system and improving overall stamina. When you engage in regular physical activity, you notice that your focus sharpens, your endurance improves, and your ability to sustain concentration through long trading hours increases. This energy translates into better execution, faster recognition of patterns, and a reduced likelihood of errors due to mental exhaustion. Building a physical routine does not require extreme measures. Simple habits like walking daily, stretching, yoga, or bodyweight exercises can create substantial benefits. The key is consistency rather than intensity. Exercising for 20 to 30 minutes each day builds momentum, instills discipline, and gradually strengthens both body and mind. Over time, these small repeated actions compound into noticeable mental resilience, allowing you to approach trading challenges with calm, clarity, and confidence. Exercise also enhances self-control, which is critical for trading. Every time you resist the urge to skip a workout, push through a difficult set, or complete a run, even when your body protests, you strengthen your ability to delay gratification and follow through on commitments. In trading, self-control is the difference between holding a position according to plan and closing it prematurely, or between sticking to your risk management rules and chasing a loss. Regular physical exercise creates neural pathways that reinforce control, discipline, and structured behavior, which directly influence your decisions on the market. Additionally, physical activity improves sleep quality, which has a profound impact on mental acuity. Traders who do not sleep well are more prone to emotional swings, misjudgment, and fatigue-induced mistakes. Exercise promotes deeper, more restorative sleep cycles, leaving the mind refreshed and better prepared for analytical thinking. A well-rested trader is sharper, more patient, and more capable of executing strategies consistently, highlighting how closely physical and mental strength are intertwined. Endurance training in particular builds persistence. Long runs, cycling, or swimming teach you to maintain effort over extended periods, often under discomfort or monotony. This endurance carries over directly to trading, where patience and persistence determine long-term success. Learning to remain focused on a strategy despite volatility, to weather drawdowns without panic, and to maintain discipline during streaks of losses, mirrors the mental endurance developed through sustained physical training. Each session of exercise is a practice in resilience, which becomes essential in high-pressure financial environments. Strength training provides another layer of mental benefit. Overcoming physical resistance cultivates confidence, determination, and a sense of personal achievement. Lifting progressive heavier weights is a lesson in incremental progress, teaching the mind that consistent effort produces tangible results. Trading is the same. Results emerge from consistent, disciplined action over time. By training the body to meet increasing challenges, you also train the mind to meet market challenges with courage and composure. Beyond individual performance, regular exercise creates a sense of routine and structure. Having a defined physical routine sets a rhythm for your day, which encourages planning, time management, and commitment to habits. Traders who structure their days around health and fitness develop the ability to manage priorities, allocate time efficiently, and approach trading sessions with intention rather than chaos. Routine becomes a scaffold for mental strength, providing a stable foundation from which all decisions can be made. Mind-body connection exercises such as yoga, Pilates, or Tai Chi add another dimension. They train not only strength and endurance, but also focus, breath control, and mental clarity. These practices enhance self-awareness, teaching you to recognize tension, anxiety, or overexcitement before it impacts your trading. By tuning into your physical and mental state, you can intervene early, take corrective action, and maintain emotional stability throughout your sessions. This heightened awareness is a form of mental resilience that separates disciplined traders from reactive ones. Incorporating movement also reinforces accountability. Committing to exercise daily mirrors the responsibility required in trading. Each completed session becomes proof of your ability to follow through, reinforcing the habit of consistency. This repeated demonstration of self-discipline strengthens confidence, reduces doubt, and builds a mental foundation capable of withstanding market pressures. Mental toughness is cultivated not by avoidance, but by repeated practice, and exercise provides the perfect arena for this practice. Ultimately, the mental strength developed through regular physical exercise is one of the most sustainable advantages a trader can cultivate. It enhances focus, reduces emotional volatility, strengthens self-control, improves energy, and reinforces discipline. The process requires commitment, effort, and consistency, but the payoff is transformative. The same endurance, clarity, and resilience you develop in your workouts become essential tools for navigating the markets, recovering from losses, and executing strategies with precision. Traders who embrace a routine of regular exercise discover that their ability to handle stress, think clearly, and maintain emotional stability improves dramatically. They are more consistent in applying their methods, more patient during volatile periods, and more confident in their long-term approach. Exercise becomes not just a health habit, but a training ground for the mind, a way to strengthen the internal foundation upon which all trading success is built. Chapter 16. Grow emotional stability with daily mindfulness practice sessions. Emotional stability is the foundation of consistent trading success, and developing it requires deliberate daily mindfulness practice sessions that train the mind to remain calm, clear, and focused even in the most volatile market conditions. Trading triggers a constant stream of emotions: fear, greed, frustration, and excitement. And without a method to manage these feelings, even the most skilled trader can make impulsive decisions that erode both capital and confidence. Mindfulness is not a passive exercise, it is an active practice of observing your thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without judgment, allowing you to respond intentionally rather than react instinctively. By integrating mindfulness into your daily routine, you build resilience to stress, enhance focus, and cultivate a level of emotional control that separates successful traders from reactive ones. The first step in growing emotional stability through mindfulness is to create a consistent daily practice. Consistency reinforces the neural pathways that support calm and measured thinking. Even 10 minutes each day can produce meaningful results when done with focus and sincerity. Find a quiet space where interruptions are minimal and dedicate this time to observing your breath, bodily sensations, and thoughts. The goal is not to eliminate thoughts or emotions, but to notice them as they arise and let them pass without attachment. This awareness trains the mind to separate from immediate emotional impulses, a skill that translates directly to trading decisions. Mindfulness strengthens emotional intelligence, which is critical in trading. Recognizing the onset of stress, excitement, or anxiety allows you to act consciously rather than be driven by temporary emotional spikes. For example, when a trade moves against your position, a trader who lacks mindfulness might panic and exit prematurely, losing potential profits. A mindful trader, however, recognizes the surge of fear, acknowledges it without judgment, and evaluates whether the trade still aligns with the plan. Over time, this practice builds confidence as you learn that emotions can be observed and managed instead of controlling your actions. Daily mindfulness also improves focus and attention. Trading requires monitoring multiple data points, understanding patterns, and making timely decisions. Without a stable mind, focus is fragmented, and the quality of decisions declines. Mindfulness exercises train the brain to remain present, noticing details without distraction. When applied to trading, this ability to sustain attention helps you identify opportunities accurately, manage risk effectively, and adhere to your strategies without being swayed by market noise. Each session of mindfulness reinforces the mental muscles needed to maintain sharp awareness during critical moments. Another powerful benefit of mindfulness is reducing impulsivity. Many trading mistakes are caused by quick, emotionally driven reactions to price movements. Mindfulness encourages a pause between stimulus and response, allowing you to consider your options carefully before acting. This pause creates space for rational evaluation rather than automatic reactions. By observing your thoughts and emotions without immediately acting on them, you cultivate patience, restraint, and clarity, qualities that directly improve trading outcomes. Physical awareness is also an essential component of mindfulness practice. Emotions manifest in the body through tension, increased heart rate, or shallow breathing. By learning to notice these physical signals, you gain early warning signs of emotional disturbance before it affects your decisions. Simple exercises such as scanning the body from head to toe, noticing areas of tightness or discomfort, can reveal stress levels and help you release tension. This physical awareness complements mental awareness, creating a complete system for regulating emotional responses during trading. Mindfulness practice also strengthens resilience to losses. Trading inevitably includes setbacks, and emotional stability is tested when capital is at risk. Without mindfulness, a single loss can trigger frustration, self-criticism, or impulsive attempts to recover, creating a chain reaction of poor decisions. Daily mindfulness teaches you to observe disappointment without judgment and to separate your sense of self-worth from trading outcomes. This ability to accept losses calmly prevents emotional spirals and allows you to approach the next opportunity with a clear mind. In addition to formal sessions, mindfulness can be integrated into daily trading routines. Before starting a session, take a moment to ground yourself with slow, deliberate breaths and a short period of focus. Observe your emotional state, note any anxiety or excitement, and consciously set intentions for the session. This pre-trade mindfulness primes your mind to act intentionally, follow your plan, and maintain composure under stress. Similarly, after trading, reflecting mindfully on your emotional reactions during the session reinforces awareness and promotes learning without self-criticism. Visualization combined with mindfulness further enhances emotional stability. By mentally rehearsing challenging scenarios, such as sudden market reversals or unexpected losses, you can practice responding calmly and strategically. Mindfulness allows you to notice the emotional reactions during visualization and train yourself to maintain composure. This preparation reduces the intensity of real-world emotional responses, helping you remain level-headed when faced with actual challenges. Over time, this combination of awareness and rehearsal builds unshakable confidence in your ability to manage both the market and your emotions. Mindfulness also promotes long-term mental clarity. The constant bombardment of information in trading can lead to mental fatigue and clouded judgment. By practicing daily mindfulness, you regularly reset your mental state, allowing for clearer thinking, improved problem-solving, and better decision-making. Even short periods of focused awareness improve cognitive control, helping you maintain consistent performance under pressure. The mind becomes less reactive, more deliberate, and better able to navigate complex trading situations with composure. Another key aspect of mindfulness is cultivating gratitude and acceptance. Recognizing the present moment and appreciating the process rather than solely focusing on outcomes reduces anxiety and fear. This mindset creates emotional balance, allowing you to trade without attachment to profit or loss. When you accept the unpredictability of the market and remain present, you make decisions based on strategy instead of emotion, and your confidence grows as a result of disciplined action rather than fleeting success. Over time, daily mindfulness practice transforms the way you perceive challenges. Situations that once triggered frustration or panic become opportunities to observe, analyze, and respond. Emotional turbulence no longer dictates your behavior, and a sense of calm control becomes the default state. This transformation is subtle but profound, affecting not only trading but all areas of life. You gain the ability to manage stress, maintain focus, and navigate uncertainty with grace, and these qualities compound into lasting personal and professional growth. To maximize the impact of mindfulness, it is important to combine it with reflection. Keeping a brief journal of observations made during practice, noting emotional triggers, and evaluating your responses reinforces learning. This documentation helps you identify patterns, adjust your strategies, and measure progress over time. Reflection strengthens self-awareness and ensures that mindfulness practice translates into tangible improvements in both emotional stability and trading performance. Finally, daily mindfulness sessions create a sense of empowerment. The ability to observe thoughts and emotions without being controlled by them instills confidence and self-trust. You learn that while you cannot control every market movement, you can control how you respond. This internal mastery is more powerful than any technical skill because it provides a foundation for consistent success. Traders who cultivate mindfulness approach each session with composure, clarity, and resilience, and their results reflect the stability of their mind as much as the effectiveness of their strategy. Chapter 17. Create clarity by separating trading life from personal life. Creating clarity in trading starts with drawing a firm line between your trading life and your personal life, because confusion between the two erodes focus, increases stress, and diminishes your ability to make rational decisions. Many traders unknowingly allow market activity to spill into every corner of their lives, checking charts during meals, letting losses influence family interactions, or obsessing over positions late into the night. This blending of personal and professional spheres creates emotional fatigue, reduces productivity, and interferes with the mental clarity needed to execute trades successfully. Separating these aspects of life is not a luxury, but a necessity for long-term performance and emotional well-being. The first step is establishing defined boundaries for trading activity. Decide in advance when you will engage with the market and commit to those times. By scheduling trading hours and strictly adhering to them, you prevent the market from encroaching on personal time and allow your mind to rest and recover between sessions. Rested minds make better decisions, process information more effectively, and respond to situations with calm rather than stress-induced impulsivity. Over time, this separation creates a clear structure where you know exactly when to focus on trading and when to devote yourself fully to personal activities. Another critical aspect is creating physical separation between spaces for trading and personal life. If possible, designate a specific area in your home for trading, separate from spaces associated with relaxation, family time, or hobbies. This physical boundary reinforces mental boundaries, signaling to your brain that when you enter the trading space, focus is required, and when you leave, it is time to disengage. Such separation reduces mental clutter and prevents the emotional residue of trading from affecting personal relationships or leisure activities. Communication also plays a vital role in maintaining clarity. Inform family or housemates about your trading schedule so they understand when you need uninterrupted focus and when you are available for personal interactions. Clear communication prevents misunderstandings, reduces tension, and allows you to operate within a supportive environment. When both personal and trading lives are respected, emotional balance improves, reducing the risk of frustration or distraction during trading sessions. Mental routines are equally important in separating trading from personal life. Before starting a session, take a few moments to mentally shift into trading mode by reviewing your plan, objectives, and risk limits. After the session, create a transition routine, such as stretching, walking, or journaling to signal that trading has ended and personal time has resumed. This deliberate mental switching strengthens the brain's ability to focus during trading and relax afterward, preventing emotional carryover from one area of life to the other. Another strategy is to maintain a trading journal separate from personal reflections. Document your trades, decisions, and outcomes in a structured way, focusing on performance, emotional reactions, and lessons learned. Keep personal journals for unrelated thoughts, emotions, or life events. This distinction keeps analytical thinking for trading confined to its own space and prevents personal worries from influencing market decisions. When emotions from home or other areas enter trading without structure, judgment can become clouded, leading to mistakes. Maintaining separate channels for reflection promotes clarity and reinforces discipline. Technology management is also crucial in separating trading life from personal life. Constant notifications, alerts, or news updates can invade personal time and keep your mind tethered to the market. Consider disabling non-essential trading notifications outside of scheduled hours. By controlling when and how market information reaches you, you protect mental space, reduce stress, and preserve focus for both personal life and active trading sessions. Conscious control over information flow strengthens clarity and supports disciplined decision-making. Emotional compartmentalization is a skill developed through practice. Recognize that a loss or gain in the market does not define your personal value or emotional state. Accept outcomes as a part of trading and consciously leave them in the trading domain when shifting to personal life. Techniques such as deep breathing, mindfulness, or brief physical activity can facilitate this emotional transition. By separating outcomes from self-worth, you prevent market volatility from affecting mood, relationships, and everyday functioning. Time management reinforces the separation of trading and personal life. Allocate specific blocks of time for analysis, trading, learning, and personal activities. Treat these blocks with equal importance, honoring the boundaries you create. When time is organized, you avoid overextending into one area at the expense of another. Maintain mental energy and cultivate a sense of control over both trading and life responsibilities. The clarity derived from structured time allows focus and presence in every activity. Developing a strong mindset about the distinct roles of trading and personal life is also essential. Recognize that both areas require attention, but one should not overshadow the other. Personal well-being, relationships and physical health provide the foundation for mental performance. By respecting these priorities, you strengthen resilience, improve decision-making, and approach trading with a stable and clear mindset. Over time, this balance enhances both personal satisfaction and professional results. It is also beneficial to set performance goals for trading independent of personal metrics. Focus on adherence to your trading plan, risk management, and strategic execution, rather than tying financial outcomes to personal identity or happiness. By evaluating trading success based on process instead of emotion-laden results, you cultivate clarity and emotional stability. You can experience wins and losses without letting them interfere with personal confidence or relationships. Reflection and review should also maintain separation. Analyze trades objectively, identify areas for improvement, and learn from mistakes without letting personal pressures influence your conclusions. Reflect on personal life events separately, recognizing their value and impact independently. This compartmentalized approach ensures that learning occurs in both spheres without cross-contamination, allowing the mind to grow in focus, discipline, and emotional stability. Prioritizing rest and personal activities outside of trading enhances clarity as well. Engage fully in hobbies, social connections, or relaxation routines without thinking about market conditions. Mental recovery is essential to maintain cognitive sharpness and emotional equilibrium. A refreshed mind is more capable of spotting patterns, making rational choices, and handling unexpected market moves. By dedicating time entirely to personal life, you strengthen your capacity to perform during trading hours. Setting boundaries also fosters accountability. When you consistently separate trading from personal life, you develop self-respect and internal discipline. You demonstrate to yourself that you can control your focus, your time, and your reactions. This discipline reinforces confidence, reduces anxiety, and ensures that you operate from a clear mental state in every aspect of life. The clarity achieved by separating trading life from personal life also allows for better long-term planning. You can evaluate goals, progress, and strategies with an unbiased mind, free from emotional interference. Decisions become deliberate rather than reactionary, and strategies are implemented with precision. This separation promotes consistent improvement, both professionally and personally, creating a sustainable path toward success. By consciously creating boundaries, managing time, organizing spaces, and practicing emotional compartmentalization, you develop a clear mental framework that supports both personal fulfillment and professional performance. The separation of trading and personal life is not about avoidance or detachment. It is about clarity, focus, and balance. When this principle is applied consistently, the mind remains sharp, emotions stay regulated, and decisions become more rational. This clarity ultimately empowers you to achieve your goals while maintaining a life of stability, purpose, and well-being. Chapter 18. Improve adaptability by learning from market changes quickly. Adaptability is the single most important skill for a trader, because the market is constantly changing and success depends on the ability to respond quickly and intelligently to new information. Traders who cling rigidly to strategies or refuse to learn from shifts in the market often find themselves reacting late, losing opportunities, and allowing fear or frustration to dictate their actions. Improving adaptability begins with a mindset of continuous learning, openness, and observation. By committing to learn from market changes quickly, you strengthen your decision-making, reduce emotional stress, and maintain a competitive edge. The first step in becoming adaptable is to approach every market movement as an opportunity to gather information rather than as a personal challenge or setback. This mindset shifts the focus from emotional reaction to analytical observation. When a trend shifts unexpectedly, instead of panicking or doubling down impulsively, take a moment to observe what is happening, why it might be happening, and what signals indicate this change. Treating the market as a teacher rather than an adversary allows you to extract lessons from each movement, building skill and confidence simultaneously. Flexibility in strategy is essential. No single method works under every condition, and rigid adherence to one approach can prevent you from seizing profitable opportunities. Adaptable traders evaluate whether their strategy aligns with current conditions and make minor adjustments without abandoning the core principles of risk management and discipline. This does not mean acting impulsively, but responding thoughtfully based on new information. Developing the ability to pivot efficiently while staying grounded in your core methodology improves resilience and long-term performance. Observation skills must be cultivated daily. The ability to notice subtle shifts in market behavior, volume, or volatility is critical for responding quickly. Daily review of charts, news, and market patterns trains your mind to recognize changes before they escalate into larger challenges. The more attentive you are to these shifts, the faster you can adapt. Observation also includes reviewing your own reactions to changes and understanding whether your decisions are driven by emotion or rational analysis. Awareness of your mental and emotional state during market changes increases adaptability by preventing impulsive errors. Another component is embracing experimentation within controlled limits. Testing adjustments to your trading approach in small, low-risk scenarios allows you to observe outcomes, refine techniques, and gain confidence in making changes when necessary. Experimentation reduces fear of the unknown and strengthens your ability to respond to unforeseen conditions. Adaptable traders treat minor setbacks during experiments as learning experiences rather than failures, which reinforces resilience and skill acquisition over time. Reflection after market sessions is critical for learning quickly. After each trading day, analyze what worked, what did not, and why. Identify patterns or behaviors that led to missed opportunities or mistakes. Honest reflection without judgment fosters rapid improvement and ensures that lessons from one session are applied in the next. This continual feedback loop accelerates learning and embeds adaptability into your daily practice, allowing you to respond to changes with insight rather than stress. Emotional control is tightly linked to adaptability. When a market moves against your position, strong emotional reactions can cloud judgment, leading to impulsive decisions. Learning to recognize fear, frustration, or overconfidence as they arise enables you to pause, analyze, and respond strategically. Mindful breathing, brief breaks, or grounding techniques help maintain composure during volatile periods. Emotional stability allows you to observe changes objectively and adjust your actions based on data rather than impulses, enhancing overall adaptability. Information processing speed is another vital skill. The market generates vast amounts of data, and the ability to extract relevant signals quickly improves responsiveness. Prioritize essential metrics, eliminate unnecessary distractions, and focus on key indicators that provide actionable insights. The faster and more accurately you interpret changes, the sooner you can make informed decisions. Practicing this skill daily, reviewing charts, monitoring trends, and evaluating outcomes sharpens both cognitive speed and accuracy, which is essential for agile trading. Developing contingency plans strengthens adaptability. Knowing in advance how to respond to specific market scenarios reduces stress and hesitation. Set predefined risk limits, entry and exit criteria, and adjustment strategies for different conditions. When unexpected events occur, these plans provide a framework for action, allowing you to adapt quickly without resorting to impulsive behavior. Contingency planning builds confidence and ensures that your responses are consistent and deliberate, rather than reactive. Continuous education is another key factor. Markets evolve due to economic shifts, technological changes, and geopolitical developments. Staying informed through reading, courses, or following reputable analysts allows you to anticipate changes and refine your strategies proactively. Learning from others' successes and mistakes enhances your ability to adapt faster and with greater precision. A commitment to ongoing education transforms each market change into an opportunity for growth rather than a threat. Cultivating curiosity enhances adaptability as well. Curiosity encourages exploration, experimentation, and analysis rather than rigid adherence to routine. By asking why markets behave in certain ways, what patterns are emerging, and how conditions are shifting, you train your mind to think critically and creatively. This approach promotes flexible thinking and strengthens the ability to respond constructively to unexpected events, making you a more agile and effective trader. Tracking performance metrics over time reveals patterns in both the market and your behavior. By consistently reviewing wins, losses, and emotional responses, you identify areas that require adjustment. Adaptable traders use these insights to modify strategies, refine risk management, and improve decision-making processes. Objective data allows you to respond to changes with logic rather than assumption or emotion, accelerating learning and enhancing results. Developing resilience is inseparable from adaptability. Rapid market changes test patience, confidence, and emotional regulation. Traders who view setbacks as temporary and solvable challenges maintain perspective and continue learning. Every loss or unexpected shift becomes a data point for improvement rather than a reason for frustration. Resilience combined with adaptability ensures you remain functional, analytical, and proactive even under pressure. Network and mentorship also contribute to adaptability. Engaging with experienced traders or communities allows you to see diverse perspectives on market changes. Observing how others respond to volatility provides additional strategies and frameworks that you can incorporate into your approach. Learning from external experiences complements personal experimentation and speeds up the ability to adjust successfully in dynamic conditions. Time management enhances adaptability by preventing rushed, emotion-driven decisions. Allocate periods for research, analysis, and trading, ensuring that you have sufficient space to interpret changes before acting. Well-structured time prevents reactive behavior and allows for deliberate, measured responses to shifts in the market. Proper pacing ensures that decisions are informed, intentional, and aligned with long-term goals rather than immediate emotional impulses. Flexibility also requires detachment from outcomes. While it is natural to desire profits, focusing excessively on results can impair responsiveness. Concentrating on processes, adherence to strategy, and learning from each trade creates an environment where adaptability flourishes. When you detach from emotional attachment to outcomes, your mind remains open to new information, and adjustments are made based on reality rather than wishful thinking. Mental rehearsal enhances the ability to respond to change. Visualizing different market scenarios and your reactions in advance trains your mind to stay composed under pressure. Rehearsal conditions you to remain flexible, evaluate options quickly, and implement decisions confidently. This preparation reduces hesitation, increases speed of response, and strengthens overall adaptability. Developing pattern recognition is essential. Markets operate with recurring behaviors, and quickly identifying these patterns enables timely adjustments. By studying historical data, chart movements, and price behaviors, You enhance your ability to anticipate changes. This analytical skill allows you to respond efficiently, minimize risk, and capitalize on opportunities as they emerge. Finally, improving adaptability is a continuous, deliberate process. It requires observation, reflection, emotional regulation, education, experimentation, and structured routines. Traders who cultivate adaptability respond quickly to market changes, learn from every experience, and maintain mental clarity under pressure. Each practice session, trade review, and deliberate adjustment strengthens the ability to act decisively, making adaptability a lifelong skill that ensures consistent progress and long-term success. Chapter 19. Reinforce discipline with accountability to a trading mentor. Discipline is the cornerstone of consistent trading success, and pairing it with accountability to a trading mentor accelerates growth, sharpens decision-making, and ensures long-term improvement. Many traders struggle to maintain focus and adherence to their trading plans because self-discipline alone can falter under pressure, emotional swings, or unexpected market volatility. A mentor acts as both a guide and a mirror, providing honest feedback, sharing experience, and helping you stay aligned with your goals. By committing to accountability, you create an external structure that reinforces internal discipline, making it easier to resist impulsive decisions, stick to strategies, and continuously improve performance. The first step in leveraging mentorship for discipline is identifying a mentor who demonstrates the qualities you aspire to cultivate. Look for someone with a proven track record, a consistent approach to risk management, and the ability to communicate insights clearly. The right mentor provides both knowledge and a framework for accountability, helping you recognize areas for improvement without judgment. Mentorship transforms learning from a solitary endeavor into a structured, guided process, allowing you to absorb lessons faster and implement them effectively. Setting clear expectations with a mentor is crucial. Define the areas where guidance is needed, such as strategy execution, emotional control, risk management, or trade review. Agree on how frequently you will report your trading activity, whether through meetings, calls, or detailed journals. Structured reporting ensures you remain disciplined in your practices and reinforces responsibility for your actions. This external accountability helps you maintain focus, adhere to your trading plan, and avoid the common pitfall of letting emotions dictate behavior. A key component of mentorship is honest, constructive feedback. A mentor provides an external perspective on your trades, highlighting both strengths and weaknesses that you may overlook. This feedback creates clarity and accelerates improvement by pinpointing habits, decisions, or emotional tendencies that require adjustment. Accepting critique openly, without defensiveness, strengthens resilience and enhances self-discipline because you learn to act on guidance rather than relying solely on instinct. Mentorship also encourages disciplined journaling and documentation of trades. Reporting your trades, the reasoning behind each decision, and emotional responses to your mentor reinforces accountability. The process of recording and sharing insights cultivates self-reflection, which is essential for disciplined growth. By analyzing successes and mistakes with a mentor, you develop a systematic approach to trading that minimizes impulsive reactions and strengthens consistent execution. Regular interaction with a mentor reinforces time management and planning. Knowing that you will discuss your trades encourages preparation, review, and adherence to your schedule. This external pressure fosters internal discipline, as you are motivated to maintain structured routines and meet expectations. Over time, accountability transforms habits, making consistent planning, disciplined execution, and self-review automatic rather than effortful. A mentor can also guide you through emotional regulation, a critical aspect of disciplined trading. When faced with losses, unexpected market swings, or pressure to deviate from your plan. A mentor provides perspective, helping you remain calm and focused. This support strengthens self-control, ensuring decisions are made strategically rather than reactively. Emotional stability reinforced through accountability is a key differentiator between disciplined, successful traders and those who act impulsively under stress. Mentorship cultivates goal orientation and measurable progress. Together with a mentor, you can set realistic short-term and long-term objectives, defining criteria for evaluating performance. Accountability ensures that these goals are tracked, reviewed, and adjusted as needed. By focusing on achievable milestones and receiving feedback, you reinforce discipline while maintaining motivation. This structured approach ensures consistent development and reduces the tendency to drift away from established strategies. Learning from a mentor's experience also strengthens adaptability within discipline. A mentor can share examples of challenges they faced, strategies they adjusted, and lessons learned from market shifts. This guidance helps you understand how discipline can coexist with flexibility, teaching you to follow rules while making informed adjustments when necessary. The combination of structured discipline and adaptive thinking enhances performance under varying market conditions. Mentorship encourages ethical and responsible trading practices. A mentor models integrity, professionalism, and sound judgment, providing a framework for disciplined behavior beyond mere technical execution. Observing and emulating these qualities reinforces self-regulation, ensuring that decisions are principled, consistent, and focused on long-term success rather than short-term gain. Accountability amplifies this effect, as a mentor can correct lapses and reinforce adherence to best practices. Developing discipline through mentorship requires proactive engagement. Simply having a mentor is not enough. Consistent effort to follow guidance, implement advice, and seek clarification strengthens both accountability and personal growth. Active participation demonstrates commitment, builds trust, and maximizes the benefits of mentorship. Every interaction becomes an opportunity to reinforce habits, refine strategies, and strengthen the mindset necessary for successful trading. Another benefit of mentorship is perspective on setbacks. When trades do not go as planned, it is easy to fall into frustration, self-doubt, or impulsive recovery attempts. A mentor provides context, helping you analyze outcomes rationally, identify lessons, and maintain confidence. This guidance reinforces disciplined responses, ensuring that each setback becomes a learning opportunity rather than a trigger for emotional or impulsive behavior. Mentorship also fosters long-term vision. A mentor helps you focus not just on immediate profits, but on sustainable growth, disciplined execution, and cumulative improvement. This perspective shifts the focus from short-term emotional reactions to long-term strategic thinking, reinforcing consistent, disciplined actions that compound over time. Accountability ensures that you remain aligned with this vision, even when market conditions tempt you to act impulsively. Structured accountability strengthens confidence in decision-making. Knowing that your reasoning will be reviewed encourages careful analysis and thoughtful execution. Over time, this repeated practice builds competence, self-trust, and a disciplined approach to every trade. Confidence derived from disciplined, accountable practice reduces anxiety, minimizes emotional interference, and enhances consistent performance. Peer accountability can complement mentorship. Engaging with a community of disciplined traders, sharing experiences, and observing others' strategies reinforces your commitment to your own discipline. Group accountability motivates consistency, encourages honest self-assessment, and provides additional perspectives for improvement. The combination of mentor guidance and peer support creates a strong network that reinforces disciplined habits and continuous growth. Accountability also supports risk management discipline. A mentor can help you define clear rules for position sizing, stop-loss placement, and exposure limits, and monitor adherence to these rules. Regular reporting and review ensure that risk management practices are implemented consistently, preventing emotional overreach and impulsive behavior. Discipline in risk management protects capital, preserves confidence, and maintains stability in volatile conditions. Finally, integrating mentorship into your trading practice transforms discipline from a personal struggle into a structured, supported, and continuously reinforced process. Accountability ensures that strategies are executed, habits are maintained, and emotional responses remain controlled. With consistent guidance, feedback, and reflection, discipline becomes second nature, enabling steady progress, resilient performance, and long-term trading success. Chapter 20. Strengthen emotional control by celebrating small trading improvements. Success in trading is built on consistent progress and the ability to control emotions, and one of the most powerful ways to achieve this is by recognizing and celebrating small improvements. Many traders focus only on large gains or major successes, overlooking incremental progress that, over time, compounds into mastery. Small victories, whether improving adherence to your trading plan, reducing impulsive decisions, or maintaining calm during volatility, are milestones that reflect growth, discipline, and emotional strength. By consciously acknowledging these improvements, you reinforce positive behavior, build confidence, and create a mental environment that supports continued progress. The first step is to define what constitutes meaningful improvement for you. Improvements are personal and can range from executing a plan without deviation, reducing reaction time, to market changes, correctly identifying entry and exit points, or simply maintaining composure under stress. Setting these criteria allows you to measure progress objectively and prevents reliance on external validation or solely financial outcomes. Every small success becomes a benchmark for your development, helping you stay focused on growth rather than purely on profit. Tracking and recording these improvements is crucial. Maintaining a detailed journal where you document not only trades and results, but also your emotional responses and behaviors allows you to see patterns of progress. When you consistently recognize areas where you acted with discipline, patience, or composure, it strengthens self-awareness and reinforces habits that support emotional control. The act of writing these observations solidifies your achievements and provides tangible evidence of growth over time. Celebrating improvements does not require extravagant gestures. Simple acknowledgement, a note of recognition in your journal, or a brief moment of reflection can be incredibly reinforcing. The purpose is to create a psychological reward that associates positive feelings with disciplined behavior. When your mind links progress to positive reinforcement, you are more likely to repeat those actions, strengthening emotional control and fostering consistency in trading performance. Another important aspect is focusing on process rather than outcomes. Emotional control strengthens when attention is shifted from profits or losses to the steps and actions that lead to success. Each correct decision, adherence to a strategy, or measured response during market volatility is a victory worth recognizing. By celebrating these process-oriented improvements, you build confidence in your ability to act rationally and maintain composure regardless of market conditions. Setting short-term goals enhances this approach. Break your overall trading objectives into smaller, actionable milestones. Achieving these milestones provides frequent opportunities for acknowledgement, which reinforces self-discipline and emotional regulation. Celebrating these achievements helps prevent discouragement during periods of loss or stagnation, reminding you that progress is continuous and multifaceted. Emotional resilience is strengthened through consistent recognition of small improvements. When a trader acknowledges progress, the brain registers accomplishment, reducing the intensity of stress responses and minimizing negative emotional reactions to market fluctuations. Over time, this practice builds a stable foundation of confidence, patience, and composure, allowing you to face volatility without fear, greed, or impulsivity. Emotional control becomes a habit reinforced by repeated, conscious acknowledgement of personal growth. Visualization can amplify the impact of celebrating improvements. Spend a few moments reflecting on a recent instance where you managed your emotions effectively, executed a plan accurately, or learned from a mistake without frustration. Picture yourself repeating this behavior in future trades. Visualization reinforces neural pathways associated with disciplined behavior and emotional regulation, making it easier to replicate positive actions in real trading situations. Sharing progress with a mentor or trading partner can further reinforce emotional control. Communicating small victories, even those unrelated to financial outcomes, validates your efforts and strengthens accountability. Mentors can provide perspective, encouragement, and additional strategies to capitalize on these improvements. The combination of self-recognition and external acknowledgement accelerates development, solidifies habits, and promotes consistent emotional mastery. Celebrating small improvements also shifts mindset from scarcity to growth. Rather than focusing on what has not been achieved, attention is placed on what is improving and evolving. This mindset reduces anxiety, mitigates frustration, and enhances overall emotional stability. Recognizing progress, no matter how incremental, cultivates a positive outlook, reinforces resilience, and motivates continuous effort in refining skills and controlling emotional responses. A structured approach to celebration can be integrated into your daily routine. Allocate time at the end of each trading session to review achievements, document behavioral improvements, and acknowledge successes. By making this practice habitual, you institutionalize positive reinforcement, ensuring that emotional control becomes an intrinsic part of your trading behavior. Routine reflection strengthens awareness, consolidates learning, and creates a mental environment conducive to long-term growth. It is equally important to link celebration to deliberate reflection. Recognize not only that progress occurred, but why it happened and how it aligns with your trading objectives. Understanding the reasons behind improvements deepens insight, reinforces effective strategies, and strengthens emotional control by connecting actions with outcomes consciously. This reflection transforms celebration from a simple acknowledgement into a meaningful tool for personal and professional development. In addition, rewarding incremental achievements strengthens motivation without encouraging recklessness. Emotional control is reinforced when celebrations are proportional to accomplishments, emphasizing growth over outcome. This approach fosters sustainable progress, reduces the pressure associated with financial results, and maintains focus on behavior, discipline, and mindset as primary drivers of success. Consistency in celebrating improvements is vital. Small victories may seem insignificant individually, but when recognized consistently, they compound into substantial development. The cumulative effect enhances confidence, reinforces disciplined behavior, and cultivates emotional stability. By establishing a pattern of acknowledgement, you create a feedback loop that perpetuates improvement, resilience, and measured decision-making in every trade. Mindful acknowledgement of improvement also cultivates gratitude for personal growth. Gratitude reinforces positive emotions, mitigates stress, and enhances overall psychological well-being. When traders consciously appreciate their progress, They strengthen the connection between effort and reward, internalizing the value of disciplined behavior and emotional control. Gratitude combined with celebration fosters a healthy, constructive mindset essential for sustained success. Adaptability and flexibility are enhanced when improvements are celebrated. Recognizing the ability to adjust behavior, respond calmly to volatility, or implement lessons from previous experiences reinforces confidence in your capacity to manage change. Emotional control becomes more robust when you see yourself handling challenges effectively, providing both motivation and reassurance that growth is ongoing and achievable. Finally, celebrating small improvements transforms the trading experience. Instead of viewing every session solely through the lens of profit and loss, you develop a mindset that values learning, personal growth, and emotional mastery. Each trade becomes an opportunity to practice discipline, apply knowledge, and reinforce positive behaviors. This perspective fosters a stable, motivated, and resilient approach to trading, ensuring that emotional control is not a fleeting achievement, but a sustainable, lifelong skill.